this Fortnite game is definitely a mental game. If you lose your mind, you're going to lose the game. So a lot of support helps.
Absolutely. Well, we love you, man. I'm excited to see you perform today. Bala, Sundown, who's next?
Thank you so much, Jordan. A lot of people from home rooting for Reverse 2K. He's made
a
fan base and a lot of people supporting him. We're going to continue forward back in the stadium. We do have our next group, Hoodche, Arius. We also have our one-up duos champion from yesterday. It's Aqua. And then Martine, Erus, Robabs, Skylar, Kinstar, and Kinzel.
And we can't forget about Flexi and the X2 twins rounding out the group there. But all eyes are on Aqua in
With the Aqua.
Nyrox said yesterday, hey,
Aqua
is a beast. Aqua in his interview said, we're just gonna win.
I kakav je najopasniji? Ja pola njih ne znam ovdje. Znam Aquu. Samo Aquu znam, ali Kineza nemam pojma. Europa, Okeanija, Azija.
Whoever is going, he is flying at them. He wants to be known as one of the most skilled players out there, and then you have to talk about Keemstar.
And at the bottom of that list there, we also have Flexi, who played yesterday in the duos competition. One of the actual fully qualified duos with his partner Letwick, who's playing as well. He's just amazing. His qualifying run actually was one of the most mechanically skilled things I've ever seen, but also what a struggle it was. He had so many setbacks in that week that he qualified that I almost thought that he wasn't going to make it, and it was going to be one of the most heartbreaking things.
Ljudi, ja zna neko kad ovo počinje.
Clutch up in the end and get to a spot. You see plenty of French representation coming out there. Of course, Keemstar been around from the very beginning, able to compete on the stage as well. Robob's up there, and then we have to talk about the X2 twins. Jordan representing down south, known originally as one of the first veterans out there. We're gonna toss it to a quick little video to see kind of what they're all about and what they were thinking going into the competition.
Opa.
I'm twins, and I'm from Brisbane, Australia. I've played LAN, I've played online, I've played the Australian Open, I've played at Poland internationally. I really like LANs, it's a different setting because there's people actually watching you as opposed to just people watching online. I think I'm definitely getting better with it with the more LANs I do. It doesn't really sink in until you actually land here and you get here like, oh, I'm actually in New York. It is definitely a cool experience. I like to listen to music before I play and try and treat it as if I was at home just playing any other scrim. You've got to put work into it. Sometimes you might have to get a little bit lucky with like qualifying and stuff. Like that's a part of it, but you can create your own luck through grinding and just hard work. It's really cool meeting the people and like experiencing it with them and learning from each other. People that can keep their calm, they definitely come through.
Vidim malo laguje, pošto gledam preko Ninja. Ali, šta ima veze? Ajde, još jednom dođi da podjebavaš. Da, rekao sam ti ja na kraju live-a, Vulix. Pričao sam ja poslije, ti nisi bio tu. Koga sve ima ovdje? Aspekt. Ne znam nikoga. Kreo znam. Njega znam. Ćeš mi gledati doći. Šerujte live. Ljudi, sad ćete vi možda vidjeti OBS i sve, zato što hoću nešto namestiti, a ne mogu da sklanjam. Da, sad ćete da vidite sve i svašta.
Had a memorable performance yesterday in the dual finals. We're going to go ahead and catch up with him on the floor.
Dominant performance from Arkham for sure. Standing next to me here, another one of the most talented. I mean, I say this over and over again because I'm surrounded by the best Fortnite players literally in the entire world. Definitely one of them here, repping the NA West. Over there, a lot of psycho players. Now, Arkham, you qualified for the World Cup in the first week of duos, and in the last week of solos. Your preparation for both of these things is very different. How have you prepared in comparison to yesterday, claiming that 5th spot, which was unbelievable, guys? Preparing for solos today is very different. How have you strategized for this?
Well, I try to prepare my mentality a lot better than yesterday, and I know what it's going to be like going in today, other than like tomorrow, because yesterday was like my first time playing at a LAN. So I know what I have to do, and I know what I'm going to do to try to win today.
Absolutely. Well, that composure is everything, right? I mean, that can really help you dominate in that way. Now, again, repping NA West.
Ko je ovaj mali? Njega ne znam.
Listen. Your qualification both in duos and
Oj, gdje si, Emire? Dodat ću te posle, buraz. Ne vidi se cijel ekran. Evo ti, gledaj sad.
We gotta get a brain. Okay, I'm gonna come to Arkham School. Back to you guys on Unreal Island.
Well, I might also go to Arkham School. That was definitely
Koliko oni kenjaju ovo? Ja ne znam koliko će da kenjaju. Kad će da igraju? Oooo, evo je paklena ekipa je. Mongrel. Ko je ovaj Kinez je? Gdje je Mongrel naš? Mongrel. Evo ga mali. Pume je glavi.
Three out of his first 5 games. He actually took a moment after that on the stream, kind of you could see him. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and kind of know he had it. He kept pushing forward. We got to see Crew yesterday, had some highlight reel plays, but wasn't quite able to push.
Samo ne krenu da igraju.
Going to want to do that today, but Bala, you know on this list who I want to talk about right now, right?
Yes, I do.
Let's hear it. What do you got?
Ko je ovaj?
Mr. Mongrel himself.
Sozman.
Mongrel. What more? I mean, there's literally so much. I could talk about this guy forever. One of the most skilled players I have ever seen. So fast with his decisions. You really can't.
Pa delo je da igram ja bolje od njega 1000. Bolje igre Fortnite. Ne, ja ću da igram, igrao sam danas.
How much he cares, how much he's invested, how much he wants to be the best of the best, just as does Skype, the player from the stream, overcoming tendinitis in his wrist, qualifying, throw it down to the floor with Jordan and a translator to catch up and hear what Skype has to say. Jordan, take it away.
Standing next to Skype here, dealing with tendinitis is a very, very big thing, especially ahead of a competition of this caliber. How have you prepared physically going into today?
Avec un concours de cette nature, il y a beaucoup évidemment d'ambition et de comment est-ce que vous gérez un peu la situation?
Je m'entraîne et j'essaie de pas stresser et je reste concentré en jouant.
I try not to be too stressed out
and
just think about the game.
Understood, as you should. Now you have a lot of LAN experience and a lot of success in online tournaments as well. Your preparation going up against a bunch of the best players in the world, regions all over the world. How are you strategizing for solos today?
Ovaj 100% grabi pare kao lud, ovaj crnac.
Comment est-ce que tu t'es organisé pour la stratégie de cette Coupe du Monde?
J'essaie juste de jouer mon jeu et de pas stresser et j'essaie de m'adapter à la méta actuelle et voilà.
I try not to stress out, I try to sleep well, eat well, and I try to think how I'm going to really play the game.
Lovely. And that allows you composure, right? Then you can dominate. Love it, Skype. Back to you guys at Unreal Island.
Thank you so much, Jordan and Skype. Skype originally...
Da, ne zezati kao prvi put da me zezneš. Da, baš sam te zeznuo. Nasamario sam te, propasti.
For everyone who is here, but all of you guys at home, make sure you're using Fortnite.com/watch. Go check the website out.
Pa sam bilo prošli put, ja ti ispričao gdje da mi se javiš i sve, ti se nisi ni javio. Nisi ni bio na live.
There's a map stream, there's an individual player stream. You want to see the spotlighted players, T-Fewer Dubs, they'll be on there. You want to see the best players from Asia, they'll be on there. Best players from Brazil, they'll be on there. Make sure you go and utilize this tool, whether you're trying to get better at Fortnite or just want to watch what you want to watch. We want to give you every possible potential way to increase your viewing experience. And let us know if there's anything else you want added in there. We're always looking to improve because we're lining in stats. We got the map. I mean, what more could you want as an analyst, Paula?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely going to check it out when I get home. I'm going to go back and watch those
Vidi ga
videos.
ovaj.
I need to see every little detail for some of these guys who are going to perform on this stage. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy, and I can't wait to do that.
I mean, this is what is going to allow these guys to push
evo.
into the prizing. I mean, just look
Vidite
at
koliko
some of the
parica
numbers.
se dobija.
Everyone who made it here, $50,000 going through. But once you push into that top group, you
Idemo
start
ko
seeing
grabi
a little bit
najviše.
of a pay bump. But ultimately, at the top, it's about the $3 million. It's about being the best of the world. And
Ne znam
being
kaj se
crowned
je.
the world champion solo baller.
Koliko para uzimaju.
This is what it's all about. We're
Prvo mjesto je 3 miliona je. Pa ja kad bi imao 3 miliona, ko zna koliko bi V-Bucksa nakupovao. Evo, ready smo, ajde. Gle, kako im laguje stream. Gle, sad im crni ekran. Kao čuju se ljudi nešto i gle sad. Opa, ljudi gledajte. Ja, Manchmello. Ćemo pojačamo? Dobro je ovako. Jo, još mi on treba. Vidi ga. Guki je na tribini. Džabe, zato što je rekao da će da streama, upalio je stream, ne radi mu ništa. Vidio. Još se nije ni izvinio na storiju kao, izvinite kao nemam neta i to. Volix, dovedi nekog novog na stream da gleda s nama. Ljudi, ja mislim da je ono sezona 3, okej? Ja mislim da je ovo novi znak da nam dolazi novi skin. Novi Manchmello. A jeste, vrat. Evo, svi su se poređali. Gde si guše? Da tu davimo. Ljemire, ako gledaš napiši nešto, napiši cope ako gledaš. Haha. Vidi. Autobusi za školu, je. Vidi ga V-Bucks. Ja stružujem čuno da gledaš. Brate, kad bi ja znao kako on izgleda, stvarno ovako. Kolika je to arena, koliko tu ljudi ima. Da pomeri malo mikrofon. To ću da vidim na live da se ovako čuje dobro. Dobro je. Lonac na glavu. Vidi ga. Ovo će možda bude novi skin ako sad prikažu. Daj Marshmallow. Neće. Nisu prikazali. Hello, fuckers. Jo, kako njima tako voli da zašteka, ne mogu da verujem. To je to, a? Je! Koliko njima to zašteka, ne mogu da verujem. Ja ću poludim, gledaj šta je njima ovo. Kako su neorganizovani. A da si na tribini, mislim ne bi ti bio smor ovako kao meni. Sad ne znam da su ovo namestili ovo da leti samo kad mi gledamo, da bi to imao i kod njih tamo. Jedan to još. Ja mi niko osta. Ajde, kreni više. Ja, koje strane dance ovaj danas top. Sad ću čitati komentare nego gledam nešto video. Ja sad čitam. Dogovorili smo se, dogovorili. Čekaj, šta si ti meni daš za uzrat? Ko će poslije skuplja sve ovo što leti? Konfete. Ajde, otpevo se, ajde za.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Marshmallow! I tell you, I've opened up for a few DJs in my career, by far the best one, hands down. Guys, this is incredible stuff here. I'm Golden Boy, your host, and this is the moment that we have been waiting for. 10 weeks have culminated to this point right here in New York City, Arthur Ashe Stadium. This packed house. Ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves a round of applause for being here with us today.
Opari se, vrati. Tripko, Miloše, aj dovedi nekog novog, bro. Mislim, dovedi nekog da gleda ovako, da piše i tako to. Ljudi, sad ću doći hladno, ja zatvorim prozor, kiša padala.
When you think about what's at stake here for these players, so much on the line. We crowned 2 Fortnite World Champions yesterday, but that was duos competition. And today, these people are riding solo. And it's about that trophy, being able to raise this right in front of everyone here in New York City and walking away with $3 million in prizes. History will be made, lives will change. Now, I know that you guys want to hear from some of our players as well. There's one player in particular that I think each and every person in this arena wants to hear from. Jordan, who do you got?
The legend. The legend. The man. The myth. Tfue!
Evo ga, Tfue. Vidi ga. Tigare.
I mean, you guys know him. He needs no introduction. He's pretty decent at the game of Fortnite. He's like fine, I guess.
Gepard, yeah,
Gepard. We'll see what happens, right? Knowing that you're as good as you are, right, and your skills, your gifts, your game sense, your speed, your dexterity, your precision, all of these things that I'm sure a lot of people are very fearful of, there are a lot of incredibly young, gifted talents that are up here on the stage right now from all over the world. How do you prepare for all these different game styles?
Basically, how I prepare is just stream to all of my beautiful viewers, and you know, they stream style me, and I get rushed by like 30 people every game, so if I can handle that, then I can handle anything, right?
I've seen it happen in real time. It's insane. I don't know how you deal. I mean, you got a long way, you know, to get to the end, but obviously vying for that #1 slot. How was your strategy working out going into your drop spot today? Your rotation, are you going to be flexible? What are your thought processes going into today, knowing that you're up against some of the best players in the world?
My drop spot's pretty good, you know. I have some
Napijte se vode, deco.
I just lay them out and then move on from there.
Lay them out, move on. 355, there it is, from the man himself. Back to you, GB.
Thank you once again, Jordan, for that. Now we're going to get into the games in a few moments here. Yesterday we hyped up nicely, and I think we can do it again. This is it. This is for this community right here, whether you're watching at home, whether you're here with us in New York City, ladies and gentlemen, in the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Let me hear you. No. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let us hear you loud and proud. This is the Fortnite World Cup Finals, and let's send it over to your casters for the first set of games. It's Courage and Dr. Lupo.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. The Fortnite World Cup Finals Solos competition kicks off today, and I could not be more excited. I'm still sweating from the marshmallow performance we just saw, but
absolutely,
Dr. Lupo, this is going to be a darn good time. 100 of the best solo players the world has ever seen in Fortnite are today playing for $15 million at Jack. First place takes home $3 million, which is the largest individual prize for any player in esports ever up until this point. You realize that? That is ridiculous.
History. Lives will be changed today, as we know it's been happening throughout the weekend, and we've seen the best competitors in the world go up in creative, obviously in the Pro-Am, in the solos duos competition, and now it is time for solos. We're going to go through the format, the prizing for everyone at home so you can get caught up to speed. Millions tuned in throughout the weekend so far, and even more. We'll be watching here today, so man, I want to break down these rules for everyone at home. It's not a normal Fortnite game we're going to be playing.
Top 6, top 15, 5 poena. Top 2, top 5, 7 poena. A nije loše, ali teško.
25 placement will get you 3 placement points, top 15 is 5. If you make it all the way to top 5, that's 7 points. And that coveted Victory Royale, of which there will only be 6 today, is worth 10 points. But on top of that, it's not just about placement. Every single elimination is an additional point. Those are going to add up, and let's see exactly how things play out for 6 games. Those 6 games, we add those scores up. Jack, what's the take home? I know, just read it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, first place today wins $3 million US. If you get second,
Ja mislim da debeli igra na PlayStation, ja mislim, ili ne znam.
Hey, I wouldn't be too upset with 5th place either at 900 grand, but you see, top 20 all earn $112,500 or more. And guess what? Just because they made it here today, everyone on the stage will win $50,000
Top 16 20, nisam vidio, za $200,000.
But I can tell you the prize money is sweet. It's great going up against the best in the world, but that right there, the coveted trophy on your screen and the title of Fortnite World Champion, the first ever solo World Champion.
Ovo sam vidio da samo Rage-a. A Dr. Lupo je ne znam kako on dobar u Fortu kad je glup. Nema pojma da igra.
Throw their name in the pot to try and make their way to the top 100 here in New York City. And of those 100, only one gets first place. Only one takes home the trophy. And I'm going to say this. This is mine just from watching and playing the last few days. Duos didn't go exactly how he wanted things to go, but I'm looking forward to seeing Benji Fishy rise above and just put on a good show for everybody. He's an excellent player. One of the best mechanics.
Miloše, dobra slika streama.
What about you? Who do you have?
Yeah, there's so many talented players. You know, we've been comparing drop spots. We've been comparing how they performed yesterday. We talked about LAN experience and how much the nerves can get to them. Arkroom is someone that showed up yesterday on stage, performed quite well, placing in the top 5. I think that today, with where he's dropped at, who he's going to be going up against, he could put on a good showing. But we want to hear your guys' thoughts as well. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Send us your thoughts. Who do you predict to win? We've also talked to many people here in the venue about who they've got coming out on top. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
My prediction for the Fortnite Solo World Cup Finals winner is Ghost Bizzle.
My picks to win solos has got to be this guy.
Many of those.
I feel like Young Calculator or Clicks is gonna win.
I want to see Benji Fish.
Video eye.
Tifu's gonna win. Tifu's gonna win.
It's gonna be between Clicks and Tifu.
Tifu. Svi na Tifu-a. Kaže za Bizzle.
Has a good chance.
En solo, je dirais Bunga, je pense.
Tifu's gonna win.
Fact Fox.
Je pense que la solo, c'est Benji Fishy qui va gagner.
Bizzle is just most consistent player. And he's at the top right now, so I'd say Bizzle.
I'd probably say Bizzle too, because he has a lot of LAN experience.
Bizzle,
My prediction for the Solo World Cup champion is Dunk.
Ne znam koga si još pomenuo. Nekoliko vidim bolje.
People continuing to pile on in here to the Arthur Ashe Stadium live from New York City. Dr. Lupo, our games are almost ready to kick things off, but there's so many ways to watch this weekend. Obviously, your normal streaming platforms, but a new initiative as well from Fortnite, a new way to watch on Fortnite.com/watch. There's some unique stats, as well as all sorts of feeds you can watch from. It's a viewing experience with real-time stats at different points of view in game. Head to Fortnite.com/watch and choose from this channel a dedicated map channel and 10 rotating options covering a selection of diverse players. You see there on your screen exactly who will be brought on up. If you want, feed 3 features Tifu, a player spotlight. If you're repping the Oceanian region and you want to see twins play, there you go. You've got your dedicated feed as well. An awesome thing to see for the future of competitive Fortnite.
It's absolutely amazing, but Jack, everybody here wants to see the first game, and I've got good news. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition is about to begin. If you are here on Arthur Ashe Stadium, I need you to get as loud as you possibly can. 100 of the best players in the entire world are about to face off for $15 million. Jack, guess what? 100 players, the battle bus is loaded, 6, 5, 4, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Game 1 of 6 officially underway, and on your screen, all 100 players. Arguably the biggest day of their entire lives. The average age of competitors, just 16 years old. If you're a younger fan here in the audience, you dream of one day being here. If you're the same age, you look to your peers as people to look up to and aspire to be as good as one day. If you're a parent, I'm sure you can imagine what's going through these kids' minds. Here we go, folks. Tifu on your screen. Block has been his place forever, Dr. Lupo, and he is not shying away here in game number 1.
Pa ljudi, ne vidi se. Kako to popravim?
About this landing zone. The opinion was basically,
ne vidi se cijela
who
slika.
else lands here. I'm going to take it. I'm going to clear out every other opponent there and roll on through.
Sad ćete vi da gledate ovaj OBS.
Wow, those remain uncontested. He has a free legendary chest right here in the middle. And look at the inventory already. Blue pump shotgun, gold tactical AR, gold standard AR. mini bandages. He's got brick for days here. The resources are incredible. Got a loadout already. He just needs some mobility. Maybe drop one of the ARs depending on ammunition. Point, find some shadow bombs. Even the redeploy might be worth it. We'll see if he swaps out. He actually puts down that tech AR and grabs a purple grenade launcher.
And the zone right there as well. Oh my god. Only one other player landed.
Evo ovako ću, sad čekajte sekund.
Control the block unless Clipnode decides to say, rotate away. I've got a lot of respect for that gameplay. He knows block as well. Clipnode always landing here too. Will go ahead and fall away, and folks, I think as a sign of respect for Tfue as a player, they have forfeited the rest of block to this man as he's already at 190 total HP and a fantastic inventory. Rotating here towards Fatal Fields. Class on your screen. Bucky there as well.
Šta je ovako loša slika njima?
With a little bit of mixed inventory, but this is what we talked about yesterday. If you play Fortnite, you know that in the Fatal Fields core maze, there is loot. Well, guess what?
Just floor spawns all
Typically, you and I, I'm sure, Ben, break all the corn now. We farm it on up. These players know the exact route of where
Mora još nešto da namestim. OBS. Kako je smanjim sliku?
It's the little things that make the biggest differences. Class right now looting and no one has any clue where he is.
Lucky in the long barn, grabbing. There's 2 chests spawn here.
Mora ovako izgleda.
Any of the floor loot possible along the way. Little side stalls, quite a bit of wood to farm up. He's got a couple little forests. He's got the fork knife quarry there, plus the ship up top. He can take that slip all the way to the top. He's got an opportunity to travel basically uncontested early game, unless somebody maybe gets a couple shots from a distance. Meanwhile, over here at Mega Mall, Pika, Keenstar hanging out inside the shops. Quite a few chests, a lot of verticality inside. Tends to lead to audio-based fights and try and figure out whether your opponent is above or below and how much these players play. If they're keen on those audio cues, they'll know almost immediately.
Rotating now, down to Lucky Landing. Snazy there as well.
Počelo je spamanje. Ja jedem semenke, boli me uvo.
We do play with siphon settings on, so if you get an elimination, you earn 50 HP. So if you're at 74 total health, you'll gain 26 HP to go to max or shield. Also, when you get the elimination, even if the opponent has 0 materials, they'll still drop 50 of each material type. So there's a lot of, especially early game reward, Dr. Lupo, in securing some of these eliminations.
Now, Snazy right now with the top down on his opponent, looks like he's trying to use the stinks and that proximity grenade launcher just to try and find even one hit, which at this point is such a low end. Still has the 3 proximity grenade launcher shots. He's kind of burning through resources.
I was going to say, he sees those grenades.
Yep. Well, just trying to find a bead at this point. He knows based on the audio. Bugga's rotating back and forth in this little brick tunnel underneath. No tags quite yet. Minus a little bit of HP with the stink earlier. Snazy still has the high ground here. Not a ton of materials, 18 builds. At some point, he's going to have to opt to either push this or rotate away. And now might be the time to rotate away unless Bugga's going to push from behind. We'll see here. There you go.
Oh wait, actually,
already has a gold combat number 4 slot there. Snazy Bugga separating from each other a little bit, not necessarily pressuring. Early game pressure at game 1 of 6 for the World Cup solos would be pretty advantageous to get that siphon. He's looking for a shot. The heavy snipe goes, not quite enough. Bugga misses just behind as Snazy sneaks away. Higher floors of that north side building block.
Yeah, Bugga winds up seeing that middle cherry blossom tree get knocked down, and a lot of times in competitive games, players will just hit the trees down to 50 total HP left, but they won't fully remove them from the map because the animation of the tree breaking gives away your position. So if you want to make sure your game's only break trees down to 50 total health left, and leave them. You'll get a ton of materials, but you'll also still remain as hidden as possible. Benji Fishy, a player with very high expectations for not only himself, but from the community. Did play yesterday, I believe, placed 14th with his duo Mr. Savage. The first stink bomb comes off with that damage. It looks like Benji Fishy wants a fight, but unfortunately does take 50 immediately from the back, and will go ahead and just give up his position for long.
A little bit of frustration on his face, and I can't blame him. Shots as he's attempting to push a little bit on Nate right there. Pleasant Park still inside the safe zone, so moving away from this doesn't have to happen just yet. We'll see. Nate takes an opportunity, rotates all the way across to that treehouse building. the southwest corner. Meanwhile, southwest of the entire map. Crew not alone down here. A little bit of a build fight back and forth. Inside the zone. 91 players remain right now. Only 9 have gone down. It's early in the game. It's going to stay very, very high on the player count. Crew maybe waiting to see if that edit comes through. Doesn't quite. Storm waiting inside. We see this all the time. Just holding the edit inside the pyramid. Doesn't want to step out. Potentially get shot. Rotate back down underneath and maybe check his other sides. Meanwhile, King, Ledwicki in a 1v1. King on the defensive. At this point, he might have the high ground. Oh my gosh! Sneaks the shotgun shot in right before the ramp could go down.
Oh no! Okay. Oh okay. No! And you see King, a little bit of a smirk right there yesterday when we had a little bit of a, maybe I guess you could say trash talk in the game. It was Skeptic who winds up going down to Mongrel Mitro. This time I think King will live to see another fight, but ooh, I like some of this little spiciness to kick off game number 1. Teeth wins that fight with a quick wall retake and edit on through. Over to Neo Tilted, Creo, Hornet, and Clicks currently within a couple buildings of each other. And you see on your screen on the backside, Lecce, Maw, and Mongrel still there as well.
Flare Noise rotating through, looks like on a ball on the backside. Real quick, put the replay up of exactly how that played out. Storm here, sitting inside that box just moments ago. Oh. Full send into the air and does catch the shots there. The burst SMG proving useful even midair.
Burst SMG, probably not the exact item that players want, but still making use of it. Uh-oh, it's a cord fight. Dr. Lupo, you're used to this in Nebraska, as right now we've got Rogue Shark. Yeah, this is, I mean, you've got a ton of skill in this one. As we see Rogue Shark currently dropping down the bandage for the moment. Already the ramp goes through, and Rogue Shark just wasn't ready for it, so he didn't catch what happened right there, Dr. Lupo. Quick little breakdown. The campfire was placed, he lost control of his wall, but because he had no pyramid inside his box, the opponent placed a ramp and then edited past the ramp for extra cover. It's one of the fastest but most effective ways to take out an opponent when they're inside their 1x1. Left Eye did just get an elimination. Does use that shockwave to get away from E-Routes, but solid start as well, and I believe I did just see a fan favorite in Vivid in the elimination feed picking up his first elim.
Storm starting to move. We have 56 seconds. My apologies before the next circle closes, and it is a big crunch to the center of the map. You might not be able to see in the bottom right there, but folks, it is just northeast center from Neo Tilted. Everyone is going to get pushed together into the city. You see here, Dubs. Trying to push from the outside. Flint knocking his opponent to rotate away, and Dubs does not want to let them go. 46 back-to-back hits, and he can't find a bead on Evil Mare. Goes down out here at the old Greasy Grove Ice Lake.
And you see Evil Mare with still just in total about 80 HP. Got the 50 back for the elimination, so when you calculate it, really only had about 30 health left, so Dubs so close, but not able to connect with that final combat shotgun shot. And Dr. Lupo, look at this inventory for Riverson, for Team Liquid. 6 shockwave grenades, 2 minis, 3 chug splashes, a launch pad. Weapon's a little bit awkward, if I'm going to be honest. Just a scoped assault rifle and a epic tactical shotgun. But Storm Surge is coming to play, and Dr. Lupo, we haven't really touched on that yet today. Inform the viewers at home as to exactly what this is.
So Storm Surge is a mechanic to prevent players from potentially sitting and not engaging in fights. If there are a certain number of players at this point, when there's over 70, when the circle closes, people are going to start to take 25 damage every tick. That's every 5 seconds, unless they're over the threshold for the amount of damage done in the lobby. It's a way to encourage players to get engaged in fights without having to force anybody to sit still the entire time. You've got to get engaged, get involved with what's going on.
And it ends when we go below that threshold. Exactly. Bring up this first threshold, you have to drop below 70 players. So Storm Surge will remain in play right now until 69 players is reached. You see Booga with an elimination, Blaster with one as well. Players above the damage threshold sitting pretty right now, but players who are below it, they're frantically
searching kamperi spameri. Da, uvek gledaju priliku kad neko rotira, tako to da oni spamaju.
Duo champions from yesterday.
Samo pogledam nešto, neću sad čitati poruke.
Shots inside here, Colorful trying to rotate back away. Doesn't want to quite get caught just yet. Those splashes, by the way, one of the best healing items in the game right now in scrimmages, competitive Fortnite. An instant throw 20, and it's HP or shield. It will transfer across both. May not be able to get the soft point yet. It's got to cancel. He did. Oh, he did it? Yep. Hurts him.
Kako njima laguje?
Flying pressure from the side. Not a lot of ammunition right now in the inventory. Only 70 medium rounds for that heavy AR. Not the favorite for a spray weapon. Great at tap fire at a distance, though.
Look at how dead center this zone is in the bottom right of your screen. Mr. Savage did just get an elimination down on the muffin. Mr. Savage still alive in this one.
Twitch Prime.
Back from yesterday. I know Mr. Savage wasn't too happy with the final performance. Kurtz still, we saw the player piece on him.
Kako njima laguje?
From Brazil, trying to rep for his family. Classical elimination there as well on the Twins. And Storm Surge is now active, with the players still above. So people will begin taking damage, and that's a solid chunk with that common tactical shotgun. But another player begins to throw their name in the hat, not Kurtz. No more shield left, we'll back up for the moment.
At this point with the circle where it is, we've got 60 seconds before things start to close, and I would say maybe a third of the field is still outside of the next safe zone. You're going to see a lot of players pushing to Loot Lake. You have to realize, if you're watching at home, if you're here at Arthur Ashe Stadium, competitive Fortnite is very much about late game strategy and positioning. 74 players right now remaining does not surprise us in the slightest, to be honest, especially with how much money is on the line. Arians goes down. He started picking up that one, but not enough damage dealt. You see the Storm Surge, 2 more players didn't get eliminated.
I think he just got above now.
72 život. Alive.
Went down to the Storm, Skype with an elimination onto Astonish. We are 1 player away from the end of Storm Surge, and there it is as we just hit the threshold. So now no more panic has to come through for these players for the moment. The next one will come into play in a couple more zones as Keemstar right now, the double qualified player from France, currently set on up against Envy's Bucky as they are within a couple boxes of each other.
Just see exactly where things move through here. Just want to hold these edits and look out. No reason to apply too much pressure just yet. He's kind of waiting to see other players that may be around him rotating away, and that's exactly the play. Bucky, by the way, a player that we've seen competitive qualifiers. He actually spent some time talking to Hogman a lot to refine his gameplay and his drop. We've seen a big improvement since then. Hogman for helping Bucky out with that one. All the way here to World Cup solo.
Campfire,
Will he use one of the campfires in the inventory for 25 extra health?
It depends on the play. If he's looking towards late game, he's going to try and hold on to those for a heal off potentially when that final zone starts to close. We'll have to see. A quick reminder, by the way, on the right side of your screen, a Victory Royale. The win is worth 10 placement points. Those are big. Top 5 is 7 points. Top 15 is 5. Top 25 is 3 points, and every single elimination for these players is an additional point. Go. The focus of the current map right now. A lot of players out here on the hill. Northeast side of Neo Tilted, actually a pretty good spot. You have multiple slips nearby. While those are still on, you have to remember those do turn off. Sky picking shots. I believe that's on DRG, just to the south. No pressure applied there. Just trying to sneak any shot he can through. Actually, it's challenged. Doesn't go for the build there, protect to get a better spot. Wow, that's solid damage. Let's go for it.
Solid damage.
Look what's also on the ground right there. The legendary infantry rifle.
Samo za tu ne
Still
treba
gets
da
off that when
možda
needed. Right now,
pojaš
choosing to
oružje.
go with the spray weapons. Player that's close.
Da, ništa.
We have a replay coming on in soon of Mega from FaZe, who played yesterday in the duos competition with Dubs. Dubs already dropped this game. We'll see how Mega plays this one. Gets to the opponent's box. 2 clean shots.
Šta radi,
And there it comes through, and near max materials, Slurp Juice as well as Chunk Splashes will be sitting pretty with the inventory right there. The next zone did just pop on up, moving to kind of the
64
side of the north zone.
Alive.
And what we're seeing right now from Skype is Skype recognizes he's got extra materials back, so he's going to run back, build out a little bit, grab the excess materials, and continue to tunnel with these mats. He's also juggling items over as well to still have the ability to use these whenever he would like to wish to in these next zones. Here's everyone on the map. A rocket being fired on the far side. Bizzle there, still on your screen. Commandment, Epic Whale. Prison Arrow, still boxed up in metal just outside the zone. And Stompy, who was one of the more dominant European qualifiers, still in this one. But Zate was in the lead. With Saf yesterday, 5 of the 6 games, but in the end, not able to close it out.
Ljudi ne znaju da biraju skinove, a gra loot kako ima.
Just continuing to spray, is above the damage threshold. This next threshold player started to go 50. So we're about a minute away before it activates. Bizzle with elimination though, down on Stacey.
At this point too, you have a lot of players. Crunch is going to start.
On je one shot sa snajperom u glavu.
Starting to dwindle. The loadout here in Zate's inventory, a single shadow bomb going to be used for rotation if he has to. Quite yet though, he's already in the next safe zone. That heavy sniper rifle we just saw moments ago, and he'll probably go for it again. He's going to knock out a wall and immediately slot to that legendary AR to try and take shots while the wall is gone. The player may not be paying attention. This time right here, immediate swap, shield pack, solid crit through the wall. They do box up, but it looks like at that moment he saw the box was being pressured from another player and decided to go for it. Keep in mind, here we go.
Keep in mind, no healing for Zate, so you can see just how cautiously he's taking these fights.
Oh yeah.
Also today in solos, there's no longer the threat, Dr. Lupo, of the double heavy sniper. Sure, we've seen solo players try to use it to their advantage by themselves, but it just is not the same effect. Lolboom, bottom right of your screen. Zate, top left of your screen. Elimination so far, and here comes Storm Surge. Pushing on in. Not a threat for Lolboom as he's 409 above, but Karhu didn't just go down to that Storm Surge, so an unfortunate game number 1 there. Free shockwave grenades to pick up Dr.
Shotgun metkove, ljudi ne zna da edituje.
Oh man, Lolboom is eating the stink bomb. 50 damage, Dr. Lupo. Terrible, terrible spot to be in.
Ljudi, a to me za sekund, gledajte vi. Idem dužim nešto.
Qualifying for the World Cup here, gonna have to push on through, try and make his way to the next safe zone. Multiple ballers on the outside, he might be able to grab that one in the water right there if he sees it when he pops out. You can see Vivid on your screen. Evilmare still there as well. Psalm rotating in, multiple ballers still on the field.
Look at that build.
Look at the, yeah. This is like a Fortnite World Cup apartment complex. You have countless players stacked in next to each other. Bizzle going for the edge reset, can't quite catch himself just yet.
Moog is still making plays happen. A lot of people high up on the leaders in here. As again, Yarkos with the elimination from earlier on to Aqua, who obviously was our Fortnite World Champion yesterday in duos. Starting game number 1, Bizzle. One of the most consistent and winningest Fortnite pro players of all time.
Pa ne znam, ne prikazuju ga.
A veteran in Fortnite competitive, Bizzle is at the top of that list, but here's Yarkos again. Now on the high ground after that first elimination down onto Aqua. Looking for more right now as he's got ultimate hot.
This is one of the best spots in the game.
Ovaj lik ladno može da igra high ground cijel game. Ima glidere, ima sve.
Very hefty weapon loadout. Not a whole ton of rotation. Does have the 2 launch pads. Does have the redeploy. Those are going to leave you exposed up in the air. Little look back King. Rotation here. The feed's starting to light up. 38 players. Oh yeah.
And that count
is going to go down, down, down. Zate eliminated by Left Eye. Colorful taking up another one out as well. King, 4 eliminations. You have to remember, placement points don't kick in until top 25, so he only has those 4. So those are 4 very, very big points. Here we go, the Storm starting to pressure players. You're going to see a lot of launch pads and redeploys coming to play, and those community movement mechanics like launch pads placed on the ground.
Mislim prvo igrali Azija, Evropa, Amerika.
Maybe a trap play from either player. We'll have to see here. Benji Fishy the feed taking another elimination. Top 35 now. Jacks, we're coming 30 seconds away from the next circle.
And Mr. Savage trying to contest Rux for height as they both continue to build on up. Mr. Savage goes to the shot. Rux gives it up for the moment. So game 1 right now, the height goes to Mr. Savage, but there's still a ton of time left on the low ground right now. You've got Pika week, Class week, Flutter Boys week. Tuesday week as well. Mr. Savage has shot down Rux for the moment. He still continues to keep fighting. Yarkos still looking to challenge right now. 27 players left. Placement points about to come into play.
Yarkos takes the ultimate high on the backside there. Riverside from Team Liquid flying across right left of your screen. Multiple players. Ultimate low ground warriors down there, both in and out of ballers. Class looks like he might be a campfire in the middle of it. Mr. Savage.
King 7 kilova. Ovaj mali ima pare da grabi.
The #1 performance so far in game 1, 120 total HP. Can he find his limb? No!
Ne veze, 7 kg.
As the crowd erupts. Top 20 now though, but King got the job done. There was 27 players left, Dr. Lupo. King eliminates the last 2 to make it a top 25 for the placement points.
Huge plays there. What a shot and a quick head swap there.
Top 15.
Top 15. Men with Elin, your feed in the top left. One of the most important things to watch if you're looking for players' names. Series gonna have to wait and wait. Players out of movement now. Here it is, the shadow bomb rotation. Still got 2 more in his inventory, which this late in the game is huge. He does have the 3 shockwave grenades as well, in case height needs to be taken. Long range rotation. 8 players remaining. Jack Yarkos, 4 eliminations. Everyone in here getting those placement points. Beam from above. No bills to be tough there. Song picking up that Elin. Booga 5 right now moving forward.
But not only that, 2
shockwave
grenades too. The #1 play we've seen in competitive Fortnite this weekend, when you use the shockwave to go for height, it's Sam currently on height. Booga sees that. That was him taking a look for exactly where the player is. I think it's time, Dr. Lupo. No, Shadow Bomb will be used. Okay, so not quite doing it yet.
Looking for a high
I was looking to see.
He's saving those, don't you worry. I guarantee before too long, a player like this is going to make plays. Sitting the edge of the storm, the box up, he's going for edit shots. Big outside.
Ljudi,
the 6th elimination.
ja mislim da Buka osvaja. Mislim da će vina. Svi su tu, svi su tu.
Still got it. St. Flores Creole, 1v1 up top, 1v1 on the bottom, stuck in the box. Big hits, back-to-back shots. Booga picking up another elimination. Booga is insane now. Almost going to be his game to win. We'll see another one. Can he find the 9th elimination and the first victory royale the World Cup solos?
Dr. Lupo, it might be time soon. It might be time soon. Booga's smiling. He's got the health advantage on Creo. Folks, it might be time for the shockwave play. Booga can soar up in the sky. Go for it. Here it is. Shockwave died. Shots coming in. No elimination yet. For the first game victory.
Oh my gosh. Confident play from Booga. What a monster. The first victory royale.
The crowd on their feet. Booga,
na stolu, kako igra to?
5 of the last top 6 players for the victory royale. What a swing of points right there, Dr. Lupo. You get the win. You get max placement points. 9 elims too. Folks, that is a statement game in #1 for Booga. And here it is again. The shockwave up. Creo tried to prepare. You see the damage coming on through, but at that point, with that much of a health advantage, Creo stands no shot. What a brilliant ending. Talking about a great late game. Solos absolutely living up to the hype of the duo competition yesterday.
Imagine being in the World Cup finals.
A ne, da se na njegovom mjestu javi vratili campfire dole, postavili sve. Samo i spamo bi ga od.
Take over and get the victory royale.
Much deserved game 1 victory right there. The #1 thing I noticed from Booga, in the shadow bombs, so many people worry so much about popping out of the shadow and immediately boxing and protecting themselves. Instead, Booga winds up pushing forward, looking for where his next victim could be, and then pops out of the shadow and eliminates the player. It happened 3 times right there, and it was big reasons why he was able to push on through. Booga, an incredible performance. What is that, 19 points?
19 points, game #1.
I don't see how anyone's above that.
At this point, I mean, we're actually going to take a look exactly to see where that falls on the leaderboards. No surprise here, a 9-point lead out of game 1. King, 7 eliminations. We saw that earlier. Sadly, goes down a little bit before those top couple placements. Psalm, Rux, Yarkos, ton of top-tier players across the board right now. But a 9-point lead after game 1 is absolutely incredible.
And you look at the leaderboard right now, a big talk of yesterday, EU versus NA. EU, why so quiet earlier in the day? NA, why so quiet at the end of the day? 8 of the 10 top players after game 1, all from the US. Here's your 11th through 20th place right now. You know, Benji Fishy on there, Evil Mare on there as well. But a fantastic start to today, and I'm loving the energy.
Stigli gosti, lol. Moram sam otvorim vrata neko.
They saw how good the competition was yesterday, and I know everyone was so excited to kick it off today with millions watching online. They saw Bugha take game number 1. He's down on the floor with Jordan Fisher.
Ljudi, ugasit ću možda mikrofon na neki sekund, ali možda neću. Sad ću doći.
That's what you want to see. You want a health advantage at the end. 9 elims to cap off an incredible first game. What is your thought process going into the final moments of in-game, right? A 1v1 there at the end. You've got health advantage. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm pretty much low ground. I have like 200 mads, and I realized that I could probably make a play with the impulse, just go for it, and just like get a big pump on him.
Amazing. Well, we saw that happen in real time. An amazing clutch for an end of a first game for Bugha.
Ljudi, ugasit ću mikrofon možda na 2-3 minuta, okej?
I mean, I don't think you can really ask for much more than that. A victory royale and 9 elims. The man is so talented, has always been one of the top solo players in the North American region, and he shows it right there in game 1 and already a 9-point lead. Solid stuff.
What an incredible game out of the gate already. Number 1 down. We have 5 left to go. We want to take a look and see exactly how some of those pieces played out, how everything worked, and maybe a little bit of a deep dive into how some of these players play. So we're going to throw it over to Sundown at Unreal Island to take a look.
Thank you so much, Lupo and Courage. And while Bugha was able to dominate the rest of the lobby, I want to take a look at one of the other most marquee and aggressive players we saw. He had the entire lobby saying, Toda salve al rey de Argentina. It is king of 9Z with an incredible 70 elimination run in 20th place. Let's take a look at some of this gameplay. So right away, you'll notice, what is he doing? He's his patented going forward, wall replace, on land 123. That's going to be the theme of these clips. He doesn't miss his shots, and he's not afraid to flex either. Throwing the donkey laugh out there, throwing him a little love, saying, I don't care who you are. Now he's sitting on the 4 elims. He's in the box fights, and he's constantly looking to pick up new targets. Replaces the wall from the side, turns around, and picks up a great elimination there onto Bucky in the rotation. But now watch on the sprees on. 5 elims right now. Cones himself off. Look at this. The player challenges him. He's not building. He's going at him. He says, if you want to fight me, I shoot first. I am the king. Was able to go, but unfortunately gets caught there in the rotation, but still a brilliant performance from the young Argentinian. He's looking to challenge. He's looking to frag out with the best of the best, putting himself currently sitting in the number 2 spot. He has played so absurdly well in that first game. This is what it's all about. If you can bring your aggression, what you do in the qualifiers, and take it to this stage, and you don't have nerves. If you're like Bugha and say, I'm gonna go. If you're like King and say, you wanna edit, I'll shoot first. I'll take the 50 health on elim there, and I will take the point in staying in the match. You can wait and watch me dominate. Let's get into match 2, because that first match was insane. Courage and Lupo, take it away, guys.
Sundown, thank you so much. Appreciate the quick analysis of everything that happened in the middle of that game. A lot of action here at the Fortnite World Cup solo competition. This is the last day for the entire event as well. I hope everyone has enjoyed Marshmello's concert. We have tons of people here in the crowd. Yeah. Absolutely, it's just been ridiculous, so much fun.
My Italian family was out there, 25 people deep. They've got a full deli layout. Unfortunately, my Aunt Lorraine down in Florida, I know you're watching. Shout out, we love you, miss you. But no, they're all here for their first ever event too. It is an incredible energy in here. And you know, guys in the venue, do you guys want to see another Fortnite World Cup next year? Should we do this again?
I'm thinking, yeah, Jeff.
All right, budget's approved, Epic, it's happening. But folks, let's get back into the action. Game number 2 about to begin. Bugha, the superstar of game 1, the talk on all social media with the hashtag Fortnite World Cup. What a play. The lobby is ready. The players are ready. Ladies and gentlemen in the venue, are you ready?
Actually,
Game 2 of the solos competition here at the Fortnite World Cup Finals starts right now.
After the last game, I have a feeling you're going to see maybe potentially contested drops. Players vying for those points, seeing exactly what can be done now.
Mislim da će on posto. Ne, evo ga dole.
In that first game.
Evo ga.
I think Next two closest were 7-4, and then everybody was below that. The Arcos, I think, having 4, King with 7. Going into game 2, knowing that we still have 5 remaining, knowing that based on the leaderboards from yesterday, that 17 points at one point separated first and last. By the way, a quick note, we can see the mini-map, but I think Tfue, there it is. There it is. I'm pretty sure Tfue has the block all by himself. Again, Clipnote didn't want to challenge it this time.
No one nearby at all, and also on that map, look at the 2 llamas. Right outside a racetrack, it looks like one player's about to go claim him.
Džanka će da bude u Happy-u, će da bude dosta mega move. Da samo bufu gledaju. On opet otišu Lucky.
First place, the Victory Royale, 19 total points because of those 9 limbs. Sitting pretty, 5 games away from $3 million.
I have to say, I feel like after one game,
on je samo sa jednim lejkom.
That's something I would screenshot just to hold on to.
Big Shirt treba naći. Vidi ga Aqua.
Here is Aqua versus
Twins.
Aqua, as we can't stress it out, our Fortnite World Champion from yesterday in duos.
Ovo ima pumpe. Nemoj da se brukaš. Gle šta radi.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Aqua's going to be upset with himself on that one, Dr. Lupo. That was a sloppy fight from both sides. I'm going to say it right now. Those early game fights can be very, very awkward, but we also have the first elimination where we saw earlier. And it was
pistoljem.
And then says, here's your reward. A llama that was looking at a nice view from the top of
95 živo.
Kovacs out of his mind. By the way, a quick note here. Twins had 46 elims in his qualifying matches. That's so many.
Imao je 46 eliminacije, kvalifikovao se.
And most players didn't even play the full 10, so you got to think Twins did pop off in his region with things going on
right there. Yep. 2 shadow bombs. Already has a flint knock sitting on minis and a pump. Solid early game loadout. Can pick up maybe one more movement ability, depending on whether or not he wants to keep the flint knock in his inventory. We'll have to see. Still hopefully looking for a slurp at some point. MQ and Mr. Savage not far from each other. Takamura and Clarity G also in Happy Hamlet, my least favorite drop, I'm going to be honest with you, but a lot of these players know exactly where the chests are, and know exactly how to get there as fast as they can. And there are so many materials down here. This also is one of the highest chest spawn counts in the entire game. This POI is insane.
Yeah, I believe 29 possible chests or something along those lines, but
njih je 4 tu je.
Let me roll away for right now. Give that to Mr. Savage. Over to Snobby Shores. Putting the spray down with that heavy assault rifle. Only 19 AR shots left.
Ljudi, šta mislite da sutra ujutro ili možda večeras oko 12 da igramo State of War?
Already some good variation between the zones in game 1 and game 2. Hornet will continue to move slowly but surely over to Nyx. So again, looking at the map.
Ja svakako ne spavam pred 2 jer čekam ja ovako bez veze shop da gledam što ima i da vidim nove misije. Da ga prle šta radi. Ako ga mora ga ubije, mora ga ubije. Ne obrukaj se. Budi agresivan, ne.
Wouldn't be surprised if he goes in for it here in just a second, and he does. Watching that corner, Hornet
still on
the defensive, long-range spray from a drum shotgun. Isn't enough, but up close, the thing is very, very deadly. Nyx picking up first elimination for him in this game.
Also with the emote after
the elimination.
So far, it's spicy. Jeff, I mean, I love this.
Kako gledam ovako, ja bi ovog mogu da ubijem, ovog Nyx, šta već.
It's fantastic.
A very important note there. Nyx had the most eliminations in the online opens at 61 during his qualifying week. That's crazy too. And Nyx from Brazil we often saw very aggressive gameplay from those players during their qualifying matches.
All they would do is kind of just stomp through their lobbies. We always talk about how insane
Gledajte, našao njegov omiljeni gun.
4 minis. 3 big shields, 4 shadow bombs, a launch pad, a legendary infantry rifle, a blue pump shotgun. Tfue set up for the rest of this game, nearing max materials as well.
A mislim da će on samo ovaj game, samo ovaj lud ima.
Nobody wants to challenge here, but it's one of the best loot spots in the
Bulex,
game.
dovedi još nekog na live. To ti je plus, možda dobiješ još neki gift. Što više ljudi.
Get an advantageous position too, because you're right up the hill, like I said before, there's baller spawns up there. Those are going to get grabbed pretty quick, but if they don't, if you're lucky enough, you have free rotation as well. It's also not terribly far. Slipstream to the center, just past the umbrella. Foray down there. Meanwhile, Mr. Savage stuck in a 1v1 down here at Happy Hamlet. There's actually 3 players total. My apologies. You see on the mini-map in the bottom right there. They can't see those arrows, but we definitely can. And Crew and Takamura still down inside in the building. Audio cues trying to listen for each other. Takamura, you see, not really moving. Crew trying to do some wall replacing to build up a little bit of a material buffer. Here. I think Mr. Savage going to rotate out.
Here is Tfue, the player just in front. It's like a fight he's potentially looking to take. Not sure exactly what the health is of the opponent. Just ahead. Okay, so there is a health advantage between Tfue too. Bit of damage as Kluja will begin to heal on up, so it does look like Tfue damaged the player. Thought about challenging, but for right now, we'll just box for a moment. They are very soon gonna have to move towards the zone.
If you're watching online and you get an opportunity here to clip some shots from Tfue, it's gonna be very accurate. We've seen it before, and we'll see him again with that infantry rifle. One of the best in the game.
That was kind of greedy from Tfue. He has a ton of materials. I think he didn't expect his opponent to challenge and go for a shot, but because he tries to save a couple walls of wood, has to pop one of those big shields, and Kluja says, you know what, I'm out of here, and the zone's already there, so Tfue has a long trek ahead of him. Might have to decide if he's going to use a launch pad here. Probably not, as he does have the slipstreams down below, but still will take some damage from the storm.
If there is a rift spawn up at the burger, he can take the zip across, jump off midway through, and go down and grab it. We'll see.
Bugha eliminated to start off this game in 90th place. So our game 1 winner out early on, which means that that 9-point lead will surely be cut down as this one goes on. Quick thing I want to remind everyone of, yesterday we were nearing the #1 trend in the world on Twitter. I'm going to challenge all of you right now. Use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup across everywhere. Send in how you're watching today. Let me know who you think's going to win. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup everywhere from the millions of you all tuning on in. Can't stress that enough. Let everyone know that the largest event, one of the largest events of all time, concludes today with a $30 million prize pot in total throughout the weekend.
Edit here. Stuck in a little stalemate. He's going to hold that side, look for the shot. Can't quite find it. Player backs out of that. Not fast enough.
Mr. Savage goes down to Mega.
Eliminated early in this game 2, the World Cup solos. Start holding this edit yet again, just trying to wait and watch to see if he's going to spot this player and make a move. This might be an opportunity to make a play here. Kind of baiting the ultimate high ground here. Quick little resets, going to go for a wall replace. Does get it. Pressure apply, going to jump up. He built the ramp preemptively to defend against any shots. Here it is, a shot from the side, does make contact. Twins down to 90 total HP. Big hit there to Shotty. Gonna try and rotate up on the outside. Pressure against the edge of the storm, and a build-off is kind of the only answer at this point. Twin gets down, doesn't quite find that the player inside
Eto, doveo se. Pošto nije, aj nek napiše sad nešto. Nek piše.
All he's got left. He could shadow and try and get away, but if the player inside is smart enough, Keemstar knows exactly where to shoot. Twins is going to go down. We'll see here. 1 pump is all it takes, though, with this thing. 150 HP.
Oh my gosh.
Almost going down there. No shield remaining. A back and forth between these 2 titans of Fortnite. And there it is. Keemstar finding the lead with the Shotty there, and Twins eliminated.
Move towards Storm Surge kicking on in. I do want to point out where this next zone is. Spoke to production. We'll bring that back in for you all to see just how insane zone number 2 will be for everyone on this
map. Zašto ovaj tvoj Miloš malo prema prišao poruku da će onda dobije gift?
Look at that. A third of the zone off the map.
Not only are you forced all the way to the bottom of the map, you've got nothing on the south end of the safe zone.
To si ti, a?
Players going to get compressed together. I would expect going into circle 3 or 4, you're going to see a very low player count in comparison to last game. We're already down to 75 And Storm Surge now getting to kick in. You have 5 players that
Ako ja shvatim to ti došao sa drugog accounta.
To those that have not dealt enough of it. Yep. Multiple players bunkering up here at Happy Hamlet. Not a whole lot of real estate left. Shots going out there. You hear that minigun, one of the very good weapon for applying pressure to structures, especially when you see other players are taking shots at the same target. Fight the top left. Replay between Niddle, opponent inside the box. Caught above, headed down. Quite fine the first shot. Follows through the second, third, fourth. And the elimination had 1 health left. If you looked after the 50 health was earned, he was stuck at 50, meaning he was under 1 HP. He had effectively 0.9% health and goes down right there. His opponent can't win the fight as he's rewarded. Nakamura on your screen, 179 total HP, and that's a tough battle you have here, Dr. Lupo. Do you use your last healing item in the big shield for only 21, or do you hope maybe 179 health is enough for the next fight? It's a double-edged sword, a tough decision to make. Storm Surge still active. 4 more players need to go down before it ends. Trying to get the wall there, can't quite find it. Quick edit up and out. Solid to make a rotation away. Waiting. This is just he's basically trying to bait to see if the player inside is gonna head out. Shockwave, Lecce hits the tree, might cost him. Pressure being applied now. The 1v1 not over quite yet. Combat shotgun from above right here will be very effective. The spread from a top-down position like this is like a guaranteed. Shot from behind, can't quite make contact yet. Zone now heading for 2 as well. Player's gonna have to go for it very soon. Here we go. Another Shockwave to push away. Storm Surge is active. He's way above, and those bandages are gonna be key to survival. We'll see. I guess the swap in position. She took the high ground temporarily here. They're at a point now where they basically just one of them needs to get in the fight. One of them needs to win this fight if they want to survive for the 50 extra health. Lecce slowly taking this damage. 2 ticks every second, and it's going quick. Dr. Lupo now down to just 12 HP. This could be done here momentarily. Good shot, no! Maupin wins it with the quick shotgun to the dome, and you see, using 4 bandages, the 50 health puts him back to 100. It should be enough to move on in. Storm Surge now over as well, and the next zone just popped up. And it's even more southwest. Tifu's still alive in this game. So far, 0 eliminations, still though with this magnificent inventory for the late game. I just want to say that the bait outside in the storm, forcing your opponent to take damage knowing that they're not healing for their own HP, basically a way of weakening them, and then you choose the time to engage means you don't even have to be as accurate as before. That shotgun, Tifu take a couple shots on that player on rotation with the Shadow Bomb, a little more difficult to see them since they're basically invisible. They are a shadow.
Ima baš metko za shotgun, ovega lika čeka na edit.
Not entirely sure yet, as I'm still figuring that out. Tifu not safe in the next zone. He's going to use much time. He's going to try to use whatever his opponent places down right here. Oh, no damage being applied. Going to attempt to try and bait this, put down that launch pad. Here we go. Thought for a second he might go for the side. Chooses not to, flying past multiple players in Shadow Bomb. And here we go, shots from the backside. Pressure being applied on Tifu, and he's going to have the box
Nema baš mace.
There it is, Shadow Bomb, door edit. Go make a move on the outside. He is in the shadow form still. You can keep this by jumping against the wall. That was not a good Shadow Bomb, I can tell you right now.
Neće dobiti zato što si aktivan, nego zato što si me molio.
55 HP. Tifu, the edit from the outside, and he is eliminated by King. And look who it is again, King, the player with 7 eliminations in game number 1, keeps the aggression going. In game 2, the heavy sniper that immediately destroys that wall and is rewarded with incredible loot, almost max builds as well. Tifu, a very quiet start to today's World Cup competition. Here's that elimination on Tifu, shot above, no shield damage, but a big hit from the outside. There's a heavy snipe to take that wall almost instantly. Very intelligent play there. Again, more aggressive players we've seen thus far. Yep. And it's working out. Oh my gosh, this is back down Happy Hamlet, right on the edge. So many players on the east side of the safe zone. And this is so far southwest. Remember, about a third of it is in the water right now. Nobody's on the island on the outside. We're to see where this goes next. There it is, focused just to the west. That submarine atop the ice mountain right there. But look at how many players are stacked on the right side of that zone. So in this next zone, on that north or east side, you can put a ton of damage downrange as everyone has to move right at you. You see Karu does go down to Diego GB in your elimination feed. Drop coming on through. Crew boxed up, Creo boxed up. Rux under 100 health. Has to play this one safely, but they are so far on the east side of the zone. The storm is going to move quite quick, Ben. They've got to be ready for it. There's already the first shot.
Miłosz, Wolex.
Rux trying to shoot them from behind.
Masz godzin?
Elimination there. Class so far away. Will use a launch pad and just begin to move toward this circle.
You have to think at this point with both placement and eliminations before too long here.
Ovaj leg zna da uzima skin koji treba.
To push into the first place position on the leaderboard.
Samo ne zna da builda.
Going down so early in this game, 90th place.
Mnogo je otvorene.
He's a dinosaur. No, I'm talking about his real life out. He's set up to play the Fortnite World Cup at 1, and then he's got a dinner date at 7:30. So good for him. And the guy looks great. I'm going to give a shout out for that. Best dressed, 2 extra points. A Fortnite World Cup champion right there, Rux.
Veće boksaj se. Znam da nemaš maca. Kad neće builda. Evo ga reverse.
King on your screen, but also someone you haven't spoken a lot about, Reverse 2K. Duo with Ninja, able to qualify together for this competition, but did make it into solos, and now see what he can do by himself. Was on the far side of this zone, so also not a fun spot by any means.
Koliko živih? 47.
Highest damage in the match, 574, meaning, like I said, that aggressive gameplay. Still in it, still trying to win, still trying to get the beat on players, and a quick beam on aspect up the ramp, caught off guard by an edit play. A shot through the wall, gets the follow through with the edit.
King možda wina game. Trebuha.
Out of his mind right now.
King reminds me of like Vinny and Zextro back from the earlier duo competitions when they would just try to fight anyone they saw. King, 7 eliminations in game 1, now 4 eliminations in game number 2, and there's still 42 players remaining. And there is only one person in the next zone that just popped up, Dr. Lupo. It is as far west as possible, and look at those arrows frantically moving on over as everyone knows prime real estate is available. This is one of the most insane zones I've seen. Look at, no one's in it. No one's in it.
Quick couple notes about King, one of our players from Argentina. He is the minimum age required in order to play in the Fortnite World Cup. 13-year-olds combined.
Wait, King is 13?
He is indeed.
My goodness.
Jack is 11 million times better than both of us combined.
Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous to think about. Cosmic on the height, Vivid still alive in this game, Artbrook still alive in this game. Draken's still alive in this game. What does King use here? Looks like Will again place the launch pad, and what you saw right there, a ramp placed backwards to bounce off of it so he doesn't go all the way up. It's basically a sitting duck up in the air. Kind of flows quite quickly towards the opposing player. King, imagine winning $3 million as a 13-year-old. I mean, I think I would have bought like a Razor scooter when I was that age.
Probably.
And enough ice cream to, well, don't really know where I was going with that one, but to be honest, there's going to be a lot of ice cream.
Surprised that food's the topic here. The push through the air. King getting aggressive into the next safe zone. Here we go. Going to have to hold a wall for just a moment. Little drop down. I like this repositioning. He doesn't want to remain on the same elevation. He's got multiple floors now in case he needs to take a drop there. Yarkos gets beamed from the side. Limited by Scalar. Arkham in the feed, pick it up, and Elam on Bella EU. Dubs, Bucky, multiple players still in this game on your screen. Clicks taking out Cease in the feed.
29 players left is the big thing to note. Four more from placement points, which if you make it to the top 25, instantly 3 points earned. That is on the mind of every player still remaining, and the zone's still moving west now.
Shots through. Minigun, a quick swap there, picks the shotty back up. Interesting little play on the fly there from Zell. Trying to do just enough damage to the wall. Here we go. Shockwave. Going to look for optimal placement. Maybe a little bit of time to disrupt the Shockwave into a Shadow Bomb. 9,000 IQ.
I didn't know you could do that.
Get all the way across the map and take as high on the mountain as possible. Very excellent play there, positioning the King, the star of the show thus far for game 2. 5 eliminations. We are in the top 25 for placement now, so those points go out. That's got to push King even higher on the board.
Yeah, King was already surging towards the top of our leaderboards. Now could very well be after this game. King spraying on through with the submachine gun. Players moving as fast as they can over this mountain. The left side of your screen, now the full screen. Emku still moving through. Look at how fast he can tunnel. Benji Fishy still alive in this game, just took down Drakens. Down the hill we go. Road Shark on height right now, but we'll need a waterfall down for a moment. Vivid still followed on up. King down to just 40, 30, 20, 15 HP. Under 10, no, still 17 HP. Will only be at 42 effective health. I mean, if he gets any further than this,
Upalio sam mikrofon. Posto duże gramy. Jeszcze sam radio. Ale King, wiesz, ja jestem. No, gledam ja nego.
Top 15. Zar sitting on 2 eliminations in this. The entire field is the bottom of your screen.
Isa je tu, to je Isa.
Into the drop. By the way, it looks like a shadow bomb is safe from any fall damage. Vivid beamed on the rotation upfield for the high ground. Vivid's on height. Still there too. Vivid's on height. An opportunity here can capitalize and take shots on all these players. At this point, Vivid's best bet is to force players out of ballers into fights. You don't want to let them remain inside and safe. If you pot them out, it may be an exposed position. Other players will take shots, and that's
Look at Vivid there.
The baller's beginning to scale the mountain. Vivid, I think, still has high ground. Has time to pop the mini by chance? Nope, nothing as of yet. Now the fight for height begins. Vivid building out an arc of speed now into our top 10. Isa, the controller god, as many regard him as.
Nema mas.
Another one on the Thatch too, so Isa.
Nije posljednji mač, ovo je tek drugi.
Vivid and Road Shark all the way on high ground. Still multiple ballers in play. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition. This is game 2 of 6 and 0. No, Vivid has lost the high ground, but he says no. This is mine, young man, and takes it right back. Little Mats, no life. Vivid is out.
Wow, vidi ga Isa.
Of this game, but he got the limb. He got the limb on the Road Shark.
Nije uzeo cigle.
Isa 2 eliminations sitting in the middle half right now. 7 players remaining. The end of game 2 right before your eyes, folks. 120 total HP. He can't spend any time out of the zone.
Kradi.
Down inside the box. Can't quite get in. One right behind outside. Can't find a beat. Isa
Koliko
goes
ih
down.
se igra? 6.
1v1.
Sad mislim, možda će poslije već
The crowd cheering behind him, looking to see if he can capitalize on this advantageous position. Down there with Skype for Skype. A bit of a build-up between the two, layering defensively against each other, but Dubs.
A on ima 0 kilova. Nema mac. Napniknuo. Ovo je 1v1 situacija, ljudi.
This might be it. Shockwave into the flint knock, in the safe zone, doubling back, another one out.
Izgubio game.
But he won't be able to do it. Ladies and gentlemen,
Sky to svoja game.
goes to Sky.
Sky had 27 health left, 8 HP. If he took 1 hit from the storm, he was dead. But he clutches on up. We heard in the interview earlier, he said, I'm going to play my game, win, do what I do best, and Sky does it there. Dubs, what a valiant effort. Look at that. Look at Sky's HP. Literally 1 storm tick would have been enough, but Dubs had no mats left, and unfortunately didn't wind up making it up that mountain. Sky just wins, and there you see the celebration. Game 2 goes to EU as Sky comes out on top.
Single elimination, 11 points for
Četvoro
Sky.
gleda.
That'd be great for the leaderboard. We'll have to see exactly where they end up. But a big, just honestly, a maximum effort for Dubs was insane to try and stay inside. Absolutely incredible. Here's your leaderboard as it stands right now. First place being held by Bugha. 9 elims, 19 points from that first game. No showing in the second game, but it's still enough to keep him all the way at the top. But King slowly climbing his way up to the top, just behind now by only 1 point.
Folks, King can't drive because he's 13, but he can win $3 million today. When you talk about lives being changed, it's what the Fortnite World Cup Finals is all about. and now our crazy 9-point lead is down to just one first through 10th within arm's reach. Our top 20 absolutely there as well. This is still anybody's game.
Same spread between first and 20th, still very, very close. Anybody can climb all the way to the top in an instant, as we've seen countless times over the 10 weeks of qualifying all the way to here. New York City for the Fortnite World Cup, and this is the final day. Jack, today we give away $15 million in prize.
It is absolutely crazy. It's insane. The energy in here so far today, I'm sure everyone's had a blast watching. Games 1 and 2, fantastic. So much happening. We can probably even take it, and that's why we've got great people like Paul.
Thank you so much, Courage. Yes, I'm here. We have a ton of awesome plays, a lot of action unfolding in that game. I'm going to help break it down. We're going to hop in with King, who got so many eliminations this game, no placement points. But if you recall, the beginning of this nice tags here, gets the player white damage. He knows he has health. He knows he just has only health, no shield. He just continues forward and goes into the box fight. In the second zone, the zone is about to start coming in. He has no fear, the aggressiveness of the player, and the double edit makes him fall right back into his own box that he had a floor on already, gets the cone on top. That's Leleo, another player from South America, but he continues to take out big names, and here's Tfue. He tags him a little bit, but then pulls out the heavy sniper right as Tfue takes the box. And because of that, that came as a surprise to Tfue that he could bring out the heavy sniper, take the wall right in that instance. Usually he'd be expecting the pickaxe on the wall with the heavy sniper. Speed. Now King continuing to look forward, continue to look towards the zone where players come from. It's Aspect that he takes out. That's 3 eliminations, but he goes on forward and grabs another one with great awareness onto Nate. So unbelievable play from here. King is just racking up elims. Again, no placement points in this game, but he still pushed himself within distance of Bugha, who Bugha went down earlier there. He took out Clicks as well in the box. And this is, he's taking out Aspect, he's taking out Tfue, he's taking out Clicks. These are some of the best box fighters in the world. But now, King, he's saying, hey, I'm here at the Fortnite World Cup. I am one of the best box fighters in the world as well. So guys, that's King. The story so far, he's climbing the ranks. He's inching ever so closer to Bugha. Gentlemen, back to you.
Great stuff, Bala, and yeah, a fantastic breakdown of how King has made it up to our second place spot so far. We were only a third of the way through today's competition on the road to crowning a Fortnite World Champion. Thoughts after games 1 and 2?
I'd love to see the aggressive gameplay from King and others. Those kind of plays you don't often see in the Fortnite World Cup or really any competitive play. A lot of players are waiting for those opportunities to maybe get shots on players that are moving, that kind of thing. It's been great to see, and obviously a crowd favorite here, as we've heard people erupt every time he pushes into the box. What about you, thus far?
Crazy action. I'm really interested to see how these different landings continue. We've already seen games 1 to game 2. People switch up their spots, land in different areas. Sometimes it's come back to bite them. All I know is, though, that's going to do it for us two for right now. We'll be back later today. But down on the floor, we have Seek with some more information on our players.
Thank you so much, Lupo, Courage. Man, what an insane first 2 games here on the first day, or the final day of Solos competition. Bugha with insane shockwave play to give him the high ground. And then here, Sky, his positioning on point, which gave him the win over Dub. I mean, you guys, and of course, the Marshmallow performance. If you guys are here, how have you enjoyed the day so far? What do you think? Some of you are still sleeping. Guys, what do you think? This is it, the final day! There it is. You're awake. I appreciate that. Now, of course, guys, we've been getting through this Fortnite action all weekend long. But don't forget, we actually had creative happening earlier on Friday. Now, if you remember, there was a certain team captain with a great crew. They won, and they became the first ever Fortnite World Cup creative champions. And that was the Fish Fam led by team leader Scissors. Now, we should go ahead and check up on him, see how things are going for him. So let's go ahead and do that.
I'm Kitty Plays,
and we're here in the player lounge right now, joined by the winners of the Creative World Cup. First of all, congratulations. Now, Scissors, how does it feel now to solidify that title?
It's kind of awesome considering I love creative mode. It's thriving, it's awesome, I love it.
Now, Tyler, did you ever believe that you guys would secure the position here today?
Yeah, I always knew we had it in the bag. You know, we're the week 1 qualifiers. We're the most stacked team. There was no competition. Just when the last map was a death run, I knew we had that in the bag. We got some good players here. I knew Zan would clutch up, and he did just that.
You can tell he lifted the finger. He said, we need 1 coin. Just grab this coin right down here. If he can do this without being eliminated.
There it is. The win. Oh, he missed it, but gets it with the trap trigger. You realize that one jump won this group here an extra $1 million. It's unreal.
Like, if you want to practice with death runs, you need to like do it slow. Don't go in blindly. Like, try and like change everything you do every time you fail.
Suzu, can you see yourself doing even more with creative? I mean, the success of today. Will you continue to go and play creative maps?
I think I will definitely stay consistent with creative because I feel like there's a lot of potential in creative still. And yeah, definitely this is my thing.
But I want to go down the line and see what each of you guys plan on doing with that prize.
I'll probably end up like saving most of the money, maybe like some investments.
He's 18 and he just won $336,000. What are you gonna do with the prize?
Rent? Rent. Yeah, I think rent.
I'm gonna be responsible, I'm gonna save my money.
I am gonna be responsible and probably just invest most of it and try and get even more money back.
All right, guys, congratulations again. Absolutely outstanding job. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I cannot wait to see what the future of Creative Fortnite looks like.
Once again, massive props to Scissors and the Fish fam. They worked as a unit, and that's what got them the dub in the end. The grandfather of Creative shows up huge here on this stage. Now, of course, guys, we know you want to get back into games. I want to get back into games too, but first, let's just make sure they give a little bit of a break to the players. We'll hop back in as soon as we can. Now, I did talk about Creative a little bit, but don't forget, we also had that Celebrity Pro-Am. Players and people from different walks of life all came together to take part on this stage and play for charity. Now, of course, we had Ninja and Marshmallow, your 2018 Pro-Am defending champions, that faced off against Airbox and RL Graham. Grime, your Summer Block Party Pro-Am champions. And the winners in the end were actually Grimes and Airwax. They are 2-time Pro-Am champions. So let's actually check out them.
Gospodara. Očin sam došao na ovako. Vidimo.
And see how they're doing.
I'm here in the player lounge right now, joined by our Pro-Am winners, RL Grimes and Airwalks. Wasn't totally expecting you'd win 2 in a row. Can you walk me through those final moments?
Felt really good. I don't think I would have won if I didn't have him.
Now, RL Grimes, you were holding your own, you were keeping up, you were staying alive, you were getting eliminations. How did you change your playstyle from last Pro-Am to this Pro-Am?
I think we learned a lot from the last one, just that you focus on late game a little bit, and I just sort of let him lead the way and made it happen.
How did it feel to play with a potential World Cup duo winner?
It's amazing. I'm actually going to come tomorrow and sit in the stands and cheer for my man Airwalks, yeah.
Maybe make an Airwalks sign and wave it in the air?
Maybe a 98 bot sign. I'll hold it up.
Good luck on the event tomorrow. Congratulations on winning. Congratulations on winning. Incredible, incredible gameplay throughout Fortnite World Cup Pro-Am.
Man, Grimes and Airwax coming in clutch. Very happy for those two, but I'm actually happy for this guy right here. This is 1/2 of your Duos World Champions. This is Nyrox. I need you guys to make some noise right here, right now. Show him that you love him. How does that make you feel? You got all these crowds.
That's great. Feels amazing.
There you go. Now, Nyrox, let's chat a little bit, right? Because you played yesterday, like I talked about, in the duo competition. Your partner, Aqua, is actually playing today in the solo competition. So what advice did you give him heading into these games?
I told him earlier this morning that he should stick with the plan we had yesterday, and even if he has a bad start, he can still make a comeback like we did, and he can still take the trophy home.
That's pretty good advice, pretty good advice. Now, you're already a world champion. You've got the title. So how does it feel now that you've got this title, you're here, you get to experience this and watch the solo competition, you know, how are you feeling after all that?
I mean, it feels amazing winning the duo, even though I want to compete in solo as well, but hopefully this gives me confidence in solos, which makes me do better in solo next tournament.
Okay. One final question for you. This morning, you know, obviously yesterday was a huge day. You had a night to kind of sleep on it, and then you woke up the next morning. Did it sink in? You know, how did you feel the next morning when you're like,
like I've won anything, because it was so.
Give him some love. Appreciate your time. Now, I want to talk about real quick, and that is Skite. He just won this second game, so let's see what he's got to say.
I'm Skite from Lustream. I'm French, coming to Customs and playing every day with friends or mates. It was hard in the beginning because my wrist was the weight, and then I qualified for the boss in the last. My team because they support the qualifier. In here we are more aggressive, and NA is a little bit slower, so we try to play. I think maybe Zayt is really good, and I want to take him down. I don't think playing Sajam will gameplay because I already did it. I love everyone, and I'm just excited to play.
I mean, Skite, this guy is amazing. I'm a big fan. Skite, you know this. I'm a huge fan. Now, guys, there's so many players. There's 100 here that I wish we could spend so much time talking to every single one individually. But let's actually dive in specifically to one, and that's Mr. Vivid. You know, Mr. Clutch. Man himself. Unfortunately, don't worry, he's going to bring some more heat. We actually had time to spend with him and his hometown, learn more about him. So let's watch this together.
I live in South Jersey in a small town. You see a couple cars pass by at the highest level. My name is Noah Wright.
Let's go, dude.
I am 21 years old. I've been playing competitive Fortnite for almost a year now.
Vivid, a familiar name to a lot of fans.
What makes me a successful player is probably all the hours that I put into it. The schedule gets kind of crazy, but I will do a workout routine, 20 minutes on the exercise bike, 15 minutes of stretching, and then back to playing Fortnite.
Bud, what's
just having.
That victory royale.
We've always been really close. It's convenient in terms of, you know, playing games and just being able to focus on that.
Our schedules work pretty well. When I get done work, he's usually up gaming, so we're going through the day's activities. Noah and I helped each other very much getting through the difficult time.
When I was 10, cancers are called small cell carcinoma. Definitely made me mature a lot.
Noah's mom had a very big impact on his life. He could go into gaming.
I credit a lot of my success to her.
Gets it! Victory Royale! What a game from Vivid.
Knowing that I'm successful.
Ready?
Yeah. I can help my dad out, like out on the boat.
Jimmy, for being a great father, bringing him up since their mother passed away.
I actually haven't been on the boat yet. So this weekend, I'm gonna go on the boat for the first time.
On the boat and back on the water again. One of my ultimate dreams. What do you think Mom would say?
Just like it.
I love it. This and everything. Wait. Now you gotta come out more often.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I'm trying to keep myself together. I am very close to my own mom, and she means the world. If you guys have a chance here, the most hardworking, kindest people, if you can say hello, take time to do it. I promise you will not be disappointed. And of course, games are about to be underway. The players are battle bus. So for now, we're going to send it back up to none other than Monster D-Face, Golden Boy, House DJ Mike Realm. Bring the heat.
All right, folks, we know you're excited to get into some more games, and good news, we got you covered. Welcome, everyone. Golden Boy alongside with Monster D-Face. Here's we're going to call games 3 and 4 of the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition. And, man, you couldn't have asked for 2 better games to start things off, Monster. Craziness through and through, top to bottom. Best players in the world, and they're showing up here on the world stage.
I mean, you guys saw the reaction. Booga, with the insane game 1, had us jumping out of our seats, quite literally. And man, Sky, at the final moments, I thought we were going to see a victory comeback from Dubs with the Flint knock, Shockwave to, you know, shake up the entire place.
Yeah.
but it was great.
Yeah, it was very, it was a nail biter. Let's just put it like that. But let's run over the format and how this whole thing's worked. So at top 25, players will start to get 3 points. Then we move on to 15th place. At that point, all the players that are still remaining will get an additional 2 points, making it a total of 5. Then after that, if they get to the top 5, they'll add 2 more points to that, making it a 7-point total earned for staying alive all the way until the end. But if you get that victory royale, you get a total of 10 points. So +3 coming out of the top 5 there. And each elimination is going to count for 1 point. So look for these players to play for the placement. Some, like King, want to play for those eliminations. And then the prizing, it's all on the line for $3 million for the first place prize, 1.8 million for second, 1.2 million for third, and then 1 million as well, plus for fourth. That is crazy. That's a lot of money.
You know, yesterday the duos had to split it. Today it all goes to you, right? It's just a solo competitor. So, and everyone here's a winner. We're here to celebrate every single player that has made it this far. If you stepped onto this stage, you are already a winner.
The marathon that they took to get up to this point, bananas to say the least. 10 weeks, grueling competition in both solos and duos, and for a lot of our competitors that had to prep not just for the competition today, but also yesterday. Now we're already 2 games in. We had mentioned some of the players that had performed very well, right? You're Bugha, who had a monumental game 1, and then you also had Skype, who was able to just outlive everyone else and stay alive. But it is Bugha who still holds first place, but by 1 point, because Argentina's very own King is looking to contend that, and that is crazy. I mean, talking about aggression, this guy embodies it.
Yeah, you've seen him time in and time out. It's players like King that really make these tournaments interesting to watch for the spectators at home, for everyone here in the audience. You gotta have your King show up and bring that action all the way through to the end. And it's not to discredit anyone who made it this far. These guys are still in the running.
Yeah, it's only 2 games in. Games 3 and 4 are going to be just as important. Players are going to have to step it up if they want to get within the top 20 here. There's just so much on the line. There you see Bugha, who's getting ready, getting prepped up. Everyone is so hyped up here at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. And I don't even know what to expect, man. Game 3, like, what are we even going to get? We're seeing early aggression here from a lot of the South American players. Our players that we talked to from North America and Europe said that was what they wanted to avoid, was the South American aggression, the OCE aggression. But this time it's South America that's showing up, Monster.
And not to bring it up, but you know, you saw exactly what happened when King walked into Tfue. He just saw him trying to shadow bomb peacefully to the zone. They were not safe, by the way. They still had to make it through to Happy Hamlin, but King said, you know what, I'm gonna pause right here and I'm gonna take this fight. And that is how the Brazilian region does.
Yeah, that's how they do it, man. They just want to take the fight. They want to go right at your face. They don't care who you are. Listen, you can have millions of subscribers on YouTube. You can have all the Twitch Prime subs. You can have all the fame and the fortune. But at the end of the day, everyone that's in that game, they're all equal. There is no upper hand depending on how popular you are, and you shouldn't be treated that way either. You should just go at them with everything you got, because that's what it's going to take to walk out of New York City with $3 million in your pocket, which, by the way, you'd have to have a very big pocket for that.
Take a look there. Benji Fishy has been showing up.
I told him to play to the crowd. I said, play to the crowd. Have some fun with him.
Yeah, good to see him smiling. You know, we were there in the warm-up games. He was a little timid, but Benji, loosen up, buddy. There goes Mr. Savage. And the rest of our competitors, Creo,
Kinstar,
Vivid, of course. This is a big moment for everyone here. Game 3's close.
And it must be cool as well to see you guys. Give him a round of applause. He waved to everybody. You know, that's not bad. All right, so here we go, folks. It's now time to jump into game number 3 here for the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition. The countdown has begun. The players are loaded up in the battle bus. This is it, all on the line. Let's see who will take away another victory royale, or will we see one of our 2 winners get back-to-back wins, get double wins? That will be massive for them. Oh man, I'm excited, Monster.
And so far, Aqua has been the only player to prove that he can win on a stage of this magnitude. But just to give you guys a little context on the bus here, this is a bus coming from the south to the north side. So all of your competitors are going to get, yes, a fair split at the map here, and that's exactly what you like to see. You want everyone to have a fair shot at the map. So let's go and see As Skype is looking to land here. We saw Skype win that last game.
Yep.
It's just outside of Pleasant Park. He's probably playing for some ballers here in our top 10 over on the left-hand side here, Golden Boy. Bugha, King, Commandment, Psalm, one of our competitive veterans doing so great right here. Even with that one win though, Sky is still in 6th place.
Yeah, it's wild to think about that that's what it took for him to be able to climb up into the top 10. Only 2 eliminations to his name currently standing. But we're gonna keep eyes for the time being here as we head on over to Junk Junction. There's a hot spot there as well.
We have talked to some players about landing for hotspots.
I actually just got word from production in the back. King has been eliminated off spawn.
Wow, that's huge. That's going to be a real big setback. We've seen players like Zayt and Saf really fall behind yesterday off of one game not going their way.
That is rough, man. That is certainly not going to be pretty for him. But hey, you have 3 more games remaining. You just got to shake that one off. Moving on, though, we're checking out the action at hand here. You're going to have Tuzel pushed right in. It's going to make him pay. That's going to be an elimination on to Fledermois. Well done. Number 1 on the board.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't trust myself with that Magnum, but he gets right up on him and hits him in the chest. Here now with Crew.
That was the shot. Oh, Crew, no chill. Right on the sky platform, too.
That was how King was taken out. Couldn't even land safely. Got pinched right out the sky. That's rough.
Because there's nothing you can do. You're in a glider state. You're just floating down. You're hoping that no one's looking right at you. The players at this point, they're going to go for those shots, those open opportunities. Then you got Tuzi, who had just picked up an elimination earlier on. The circle is going to be over in the ice biome, so by the Polar Peak, Frosty Flights area, and it's also going to be within Pleasant Park as well. So the eastern part of the map, they're going to have to worry about moving on over to the safe zone. Now we're going to be looking at a crowd favorite here. We got Tfue.
Yeah,
He's had the best run so far.
He's been playing the blocks. He's been getting out of the block successfully. It's actually Clipnode who's been landing here from the Brazilian region. Again, known for landing on a weapon and pushing straight into whoever's at the block. But Tfue has successfully defended himself. Even in the warm-up games, T was winning all of the early game engagements. And, you know, shout out to Clip. He actually changed his strategy.
Clip went for a shot there.
Yeah, but Clipnode stopped pushing, though. He's not using the same strategy. He's actually adopted so far. But let's see what Tfue can do in these moments. He's chucking some perfect grenades across.
Yeah, in game 1, Clipnode ended up getting everything that he needed and then disengaged out of the block. Whereas Tfue took a little bit more time to loot up, get as much as he possibly can. Clipnode from the Brazilian region here, who it's a possibility that he can take him out, but it's going to be very challenging.
And maybe it was just the difference in loadout. Maybe before he didn't have exactly what he needed. Now we can kind of peek into his loadout here. This is a very strong loadout. He's got everything he needs to stick around and take this battle. And that's why you see him playing with such confidence now. And this could just be his game.
And it was also admirable of him as well. You know, qualified week 9, last chance to do so. Argentinian player as well. Then you got Takamura now. Sees a player right in front of him. Happy Hamlet is where this fight's going to be taking place. As Clarity G made it to the end game in game 2. Had high ground there for a moment. Thought he could have pulled that one off. Mr. Savage has eyes on Clarity G, does put the pressure on him. Now Clarity's going to have to deal with a player that's behind and in front of him. So just shadow bombs on out of there. He's going to have another one to use as well in case he needs to pop it, but it doesn't seem like anyone's going to be paying any attention to him for right now.
There's over 6 players landing at Happy Hamlet, but we're jumping right into this battle right here. Unknown Army, who has had the time to prove to the world that he is here to bring the heat. Early on in our competitive days, Unknown Army was known. Take over, Golden.
This is it, man. Unknown Army, one of our first controller players. Actually, he was our first controller player to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup. Perhaps this is going to be the opportunity that he was looking for, Monster. Put himself on this stage, get a big opportunity. Things have slowed down here for a moment. He's looking to overtake that roof. If he can get possession of that, head it on out. And that's Commandment. Commandment's going to be sitting at the top 5 if I'm correct currently. A good fight here between 2 quality players.
It's not a battle he wants to lose. There's lots to prove here. Unknown Army, one of the few controller players in it. We saw Wolfies have a big day yesterday. That wall's his. He's got the aggro. The last one is not, though.
He's charging right in, and Commandment's going to have to get out of there. Didn't want to deal with that player. He knew the Unknown Army just had that beat on him. Wisely enough, and look at the health there. That's why Commandment does not want to go for that fight. He's going to be in dire straits right now, as Unknown Army does have the life lead.
He's just taking all of these platforms too. He's gaining control slowly but surely. Nice little peek right there. He goes for the staircase first, so clean.
Doing this all with a controller. You know we have millions of players that play on controller at home, and he goes in, does apply white damage. One more, that's gonna do it. Commandment was in 3rd place. An unknown army now made him put in the place that he wanted him to. Dominant.
And a little taunt to throw some salt on the wound right there. Now hopping to the other side of the map, we have Blaster, who's looking for a vehicle. He does have a baller, and his main priority right now is metal and more loot.
Let's take a look here. We got Martine. He's got eyes on a target, also using his Sky Stalker skin. One of my personal favorites. Charges forward with that drum gun, close range, but no! It was Low Boom who gives him the hands there. Fun fact, Christian, our boy from Fortnite VR Live, told me look out for Low Boom. Someone to definitely take eyes on. They did eliminate one another though. So Boom, not in this one. Maybe you can find some better luck in games 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, that is the risk you take when you jump into someone's box here in the Fortnite world. Leshy, another controller player, bringing it back to the good old nostalgic Tilted Towers for that close-range PvP. He's going to get shot a few times right there, but still keeping his cool. He has plenty of extra shields and mobility. Shockwaves are going to be great for maneuvering around this congested area. That's what it is. 4 players in Neo Tilted right now. You have to be careful.
This is a controller battle, actually.
We'll see who can best one another here. Leshy's probably looking to take this wall. All right, he's going to break into the building now, get that high ground over his opponent. Astonis is just waiting, not making a sound here, seeing if he can bait Leshy into a trap play. Let's see if he's gonna fall for it. Will he make a mistake? And that's really what it is, right, Golden?
Yeah, it is. When players are on that stage here in the audience, the crowd, everyone cheering, there's obviously gonna be that added pressure. We talked with a few of the players before the game started today. The number one thing that I think everyone brought up to me was just the volume, right? The sheer presence of where we are. Some of them even went as far as to say, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna look up at all. I think I'm just gonna focus on the screen. That's what I know. No reason for me to try and go above and beyond anything else, right? Sometimes the moment can take you away.
You can see both points of POVs right here, both points of views.
Yeah.
They're looking to take any walls that they can just to gain control, have a little bit of an advantage here.
Yeah, this is basically like the Fortnite equivalent of an arm wrestling match right now. Maybe for some of our parents who are joining us here for the first time, haven't watched Fortnite before. They're really just struggling to try and get positioning over the other player. That is the struggle that they're wrestling with here. See, use wrestling again, worked out well that time.
All right, Lesh this time has decided to commit. He is now down face to face. There's nowhere Astonish can run it. He goes into it.
Oh,
lands the 2-shot. And that's the little tactic right there. If there's a ramp in front of the wall, you have to recognize you are in big danger because there's a nifty little trick to get you in that box.
Another one of my favorite players here. You got Legendian. He's going to be in a fight right now. Moves around the side, loses the high ground. Oh, man. That is rough. Legendian not having the best games at this point in time.
Pizza's placed 8th on average when he qualified in the online opens. On average, across every game he loaded into. That's very high for placement. And now he's picking up elims. Unfortunately, like we said here, Legendian just not really connecting the dots today, but it's not over yet. We're only halfway through this competition here.
There's Leshy who has to get out of there. Whew, that could have been very dangerous, but gets an elimination on Kinstar. A massive elim here for Leshy, who's sitting right now at 2 elims currently in this battle at Neo Tilted.
Representing for all the controller players across the world, Leshy, very dangerous. It's going to be a huge upset right there.
And you just get close range with a player like Leshy, and they'll punish you, right? When you have the controller, you have that little bit of the ability to just L-trigger. You're going to have, and I know some people are going to be like, oh, L-trigger, low, whatever. But the reality is, right, you got the full use of your arm. They have the use of your thumbs. But when you push in for there, you just don't want to box with them inside of that. It's very rough to deal with.
Maybe Ruck said it best, you know, just the age difference. Leshy's 15, you know, could just be a little faster than Kinstar here.
Yeah, I know. When I was 15, I was nowhere near as good as he was with a controller. So, and I competed for a very long time. Got through. was just in this fight here for the moment. Does get ownership of the wall because that player does disengage above him, and he hears that movement all around. You also get an eye on the bottom right of your screen. You can see the mini map where players are going to be located. The player we're typically on is going to be that white triangle, but that blue triangle, that other player goes right in for the fight, is going to knock down the shield just a little bit there. He's going to have minis to be able to top himself back up.
This is very intense here, Golden.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shockwave. Yeah, you don't want to go for that fight. Shockwaves are so important. Players saving them for that late game. And in some cases, they'll just use it, disengage. You don't want to take a fight. There's no reason for you to do so. A lot of players playing cautiously, as they should, with what's on the line here. But Crew, oh, he marches forward. That's number 2 for Crew.
You can see the excitement there. Nice little smirking grin on his face. He throws a peace sign to the crowd when he takes that player Lucky right out. This Happy Hamlet area is so dangerous to rotate through. You have players like Mr. Savage. Now we see Left Eye and Kurtz. Left Eye was responsible, again, for a big upset in the last game, taking out the likes of some huge names towards the end game. But Kurtz here with a heavy sniper. Can he open up a base here and follow up with that infantry rifle? So he's coming up, just getting his little peek on right here.
Yeah, I think Ninja yesterday had talked about the infantry rifle, how good that weapon is, and it truly, I mean, the accuracy that you get out of it is absurd. It's something that if you pick it up and you know how to use it, you'll be deadly out there in the field. But she has done a lot of times, Ninja, which is why he likes that weapon so much, and I would understand why a lot of our players will go for that as well. When you have the option to, why not? If you got that comfortability with it. Then you got Left Eye. 2 eliminations currently. Has 2 shockwave nades.
And you know, you got to give some respect to Left Eye, who completely left his previous job 6 months ago to fully focus in on competitive Fortnite. And he found himself at the Fortnite World Cup stage. I don't think it gets any better than that. That is a dream story here.
Yeah, in competitive gaming, you take those risks if you want it so badly. If you want it more than you have to breathe, you just go for that moment. You never know what's going to happen. This could very well be a lot of the people in this arena next year playing on that stage. Courage did say that they had the budget, so I'm just going along with what he said. You know?
All right, but here we have
Tfue.
Tfue playing his classic high ground center map, more or less. He does have a lead for the next zone.
Yep, movement options for him, which in the last game he had the shadow bombs. Didn't really pan out for him because King, very thirsty, went for just all the water he could possibly get out of that one. And I say he certainly was quenched in his thirst. But then Tfue now, this is, sometimes you're flying and then you just become a magnet, and that is unfortunate.
It's Clarity G who picks up Tfue. Unfortunately, right there with one wall open from behind him.
That's
not
so
placed
difficult.
down, unfortunately.
That's so difficult. There are times you fly into the sky and then the entire server just looks right at you.
It's all about timing in Fortnite here, but that's the risk you take. So now looking at Link here. Link putting some pressure up above. Remember, Storm Surge is in effect in these games, so you have to be hyperactive. You have to be proactive for seeking for damage. But when you commit to battle, you are more than likely gonna have to finish that battle. Here we have Robabs. He's kind of looking up. He's holding that edit though. He is ready to open it up. I think he's gonna trade fire as soon as Link goes for the shot.
He's
now
waiting
they're
for
both, yeah, they're both playing that little mind game right here. Who's gonna go first now?
New circle, now active.
This is what we like to call a shambles loadout, as Link doesn't have much loot.
No, doesn't have much loot, doesn't have much HP either. He's gonna have to try again in the next game. It's Robabs does manage to get the better. Oh man, this is intense. Now we're at 62 players remaining. Some players taking fights, others really just focusing on staying alive. Staying in this one to the placement points.
That's right, and now we have Leshy back with Leshy. We saw him in Neo Tilted, taking out the likes of Keemstar, Astonish in these 1v1 battles. Clearly not afraid to jump in your box. And oh man, with a loadout like this, 6 shockwaves, 3 launch pads, all the ammunition in the world, and zone favor right now. He is looking very good in game 3 right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of builds. He's got tons of stuff to work with. No reason why Leshy can't make it to that end game. This is going to be interesting. Controller player. Let's not forget yesterday, Wolfie's controller player getting second place here in the Fortnite World Cup Duos competition, along with his teammate Rojo. There's Leshy though, applying the pressure. With that shockwave nade, he gets right on top of a nice spot, nice position, kind of planning himself, understanding a player's going to be around there, but now all these players looking right at him as he just has to play defense. No choice. Gets tagged up a little bit, loses some of his shields, but he'll be okay for the time being.
The amount of players you see on the stadium side that once he's shown his self to that angle right there and everyone just collapsed on him, that is so scary. And it's still coming in, but he's fending himself off, punishing another player off to the east side right there. Here's Leshy. He can figure out that that player is the same one that just tried to make a move on him. Could spell disaster for Evil Mare.
Evil Mare doesn't have much to work with regarding health, right? He's sitting at just above half HP. Right above him is going to be Clash. Got Peasus as well. Down low on the flooring. There's Clash. Good loadout as far as weaponry is concerned. Also has that glider with the HP that he has currently. Might want to take advantage of a shadow bomb or something like that rather than exposing yourself to the sky. But this is another play from earlier on, I believe. Or actually, no, Storm Surge active currently, and we are in live. Apologies there.
So he's sitting on 2 ballers here. You see one here. He knows this opponent's gonna have to go for one, but I guess a little bit of scouting there is gonna realize someone's waiting, baiting all of the loot as well.
Also off screen, Leshy did take out Evil Mare. You mentioned that before, Monster. Ended up happening. And then Storm now, 65 HP. Where is this player that went in for the fight?
It's Wakey. Wakey's right nearby. Storm and Wakey are sitting now in the zone here. Biding time here. Wakey, 3 eliminations, tied up for the most elims in the game so far. You have Wakey, Leshy, and Aspect, all at 3 eliminations so far.
Just under 50 players remaining in game number 3. Players have boxed up. They want to play this slow game. Wait for anyone to make a mistake. It's going to be hard, but for some players like Dubs, they're going to need it. Because thus far, it has not gone well for, I would say, one of the favorites here.
Dubs did go for the shot, unfortunately could not connect. It looks like Clarity's gonna pick up Core Gaming there instead. Dubs, we saw in the previous game, do that baller all the way to the end game.
Yep.
Really playing slow and methodical here. You can't stand still. Dubs has definitely found himself a target nearby.
You see some, I think they're just looking at each other. They know exactly what's going on. The circle's gonna be closing down now. We're gonna find out where the next one is. And that's when players start to prioritize these rotations, the movement. Dubs does have a baller, which has been his strategy. He did it in game 2. He had the baller pretty much all the way until the end there. Got shot out of it, but it did bring him to a 2nd place finish. Another top 3 finish for him, top 5, top 3, maybe even a victory royale, right? But ideally that,
You tried to catch him right there, you saw that?
Wild.
You wanted to put him in the box for a second there and take it.
Trapped him right there. Player will have no idea what to do at that moment.
That's actually pretty interesting as well, because Class is desperate right now for an Elam. He has to really feed off of a Siphon. He doesn't have any other way to heal. Even taking the safety edits, making doorways so that he doesn't expose himself even for the slightest bit.
84 builds left for Class. Tons of builds here. And then the Storm. Now the Storm's starting to push. Look at Leshy, still going for shots as players are moving about. I think I saw a player get right in his face. He did pop that shadow bomb. Now we're going to game 1 winner, Bugha. He's dealt 420 damage in this match. Hasn't taken a single shot. 1 elimination for him right now. As now the action feed begins to fall. You see so many names getting eliminated one by one. Bizzle out of this one. That was from Leshy, who's having one heck of a game, taking out some big names.
And it is really going down right here. You can just kind of breathe in this overhead view right here.
Man.
Bella EU doesn't even realize he has the high ground right now. Clarity G just nearby as well. Bugha at the upper layers. in this end game, just trying to avoid that lower ground congestion.
Yeah.
All these players are just slammed in the middle right here. As Andretta gets the high ground, we haven't seen much of Andretta so far. But you got to be careful. Those shockwaves will really sting and take that placement from you.
Yeah, he has been laying low so far, but does manage to maintain the high ground. Lost it for a brief moment, but wisely enough went outside of the storm to regain some of those builds. On the right side of your screen, you got Bugha and Lecce. Lecce, a great game that he's managed to put together with 5 eliminations. Bugha, your game 1 winner, maybe looking to get a second win on the board. How massive will that be for your current first place player?
Lecce just picked up his 6th elimination now. He is really popping off right here.
That was on Hoodjay too, a big player there and a big connection for him. Lots of builds to work with. Bugha does get another one. That's Kinzel.
Right through the trap he goes. Bugha, one of the superior box fighters in the Fortnite competitive scene right now.
Lecce went up for the high ground. If you see it on the left side, he went high ground. He does get possession of it, but ends up getting hit there by Andretta and finally eliminated. But what a run Lecce had in this game. Finally comes to a conclusion when he went for high ground. Now it's Bugha. Again, with 11 players remaining, we're about to get into the top 10 here, Monster.
Bugha, last we saw, he does get taken out right there. Unfortunately, it's Peter Pan who takes him out with 6 eliminations. Peter Pan, the dark horse right now. He's gonna get wiped out here too, but it's still a great game. Wakey, who we saw leading in eliminations at one point, is still popping off as well.
Skyte's in this one as well. Maybe he's gonna get a back-to-back win. Riversan, he's got the high ground, he's got the explodes, he sees players, he has 11 builds, so he has to be very conservative with this. Does pop that player in the baller, forcing them down. Going in for the engagement now. More explodes, 5 remaining left. Player lands in front of him, and he tags him up for a lot of shields there, and Riversan has to reset, needs to be careful not to get hit by that storm. Someone's gonna be above him!
He's too good!
An elimination onto Skyte. We're now sitting at a 1v1. 2 players left standing here. Who's it gonna be down low? It's Dubs! It's Dubs down low! And Riversan has Dubs on his site! Who's gonna get the win here? Riversan navigating, tarping. He has 7 builds remaining. Dubs trying to play defense, giving himself any kind of cover that he can possibly maintain. But Riversan, a few more explodes remaining. That could punish Dubs.
He's really trying to keep him down to the zone here, Golden Boy.
Oh man, this is it. He sends another one out, and they're just telling him he gotta run. He goes into it. He's still holding position. Dubs has the high ground, but he lands in front of him, and Dubs gets a victory royale on the world stage.
Absolutely incredible for Dubs to connect. Finally hits all of his shots, and nearly a back-to-back performance right there. That is the kind of comeback story you want to see here on the main stage.
Prove to the world that you're the greatest to ever do it. But you gotta give credit to Riversan. 2nd place finish for him there. Had the high ground, had the explodes, but it was Dubs who managed to get the better of Riversan. And look at this unfold right here. Riversan had the rockets looking right at Dubs, and Dubs just needed to play defense. Riversan had no more builds to work with, and Dubs recognized he had the high ground. He just needed to go in there for the clothesline, and he nails it with that green pump.
That is the name of the game. You cannot miss your shots when you fully commit. Dubs and Mega sitting side by side. What a better player to have nearby you. Arguably probably his best friend right here in the competition.
Hey man, that was nuts. What a game from Dubs. And what a journey he's had. 4-time qualified. We know that he is a unit when it comes to solos. Finally getting that win. So 2nd place in game 2. Game 3 gets 1st place. He has to be feeling very good about that.
That is the kind of performance he was looking for, and it must feel good to finally solidify a victory over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, it's like it's just a load off your shoulders, man. Honestly, because I've been talking to him quite a bit, and he's like, I just want to get this win. Now with that, Dubs goes up to 3rd place. At the top, though, Skyte, he managed to make it to the end game, as well as Bugha. So, our 3 winners, 1, 2, and 3, in the order of which
they took their victories.
Game 1 was Bugha, game 2 was Skyte, and game 3 was Dubs. 19 points, 1 point shy of taking 2nd, and Bugha, way to hold on to that positioning at the top of the mountain.
King is still here too. as is Psalm, as is Commandment. They've all been in the running, but that was a great fight to see the West and the East clash in those final moments.
I love it, man. I love it. Another, we look here at 11th through 20th. Epic Whale, Fwexy, and Isa all managed to get up in the standings here, as well as Left Eye and Wakey. Oh, what a game that was. Game 3 did not disappoint, but I did get word that we have Dubs standing by with Jordan Fisher to get his thoughts on that win.
A massive, massive victory royale for Dubs here, a definite crowd favorite. A lot of people really excited to see you play today. 2 games in a row, 1v1 situations. Obviously, you're playing for placement here, and we're seeing this action happen in real time. Your baller maneuverability, you're staying in the baller for so long, obviously helped you win that right there at the end. Yo, the Rockets are coming down on you hard. What are you thinking in this moment? You're trying to get high ground. What's going on?
Last game, I was just purely playing for placement and tried to hold out in the ball, and it worked.
Obviously, we got that victory. Okay, going into these next matches, you're sitting in a pretty great position right now, if I do say so myself. What are you thinking? What strategy going into this right now?
I'm just going to keep trying to play consistent, and I should be good.
Golden Boy, Monster D-Face, it's feeling amazing down here. How's it feeling up there?
I think the feeling's mutual, my friend, because these have been excellent games. I love duos, right? You and I, we talk about all the time, right? We love casting duos. But there's just something special about when it's just you, the game, solos, competition, the way Battle Royale was meant. Dare I say, to quote Dr. Lupo, the ultimate Battle Royale experience.
There's just no room for error in solos. There's no, buddy there, no battle buddy to come pick you up when you get dropped, when you get sniped for making an error. You cannot make a mistake. And we saw this sign earlier today. The Dr. Lupo is not.
He's not old.
Hey, dad fam out there.
He's just a little elderly. That's all it is. As am I. So, what a game that was. And I understand, though, we actually have Cam standing by with a special announcement. Sundown, what's up?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Golden Boy and Monster. And while we're here in the midst of the largest Fortnite event in history, you're probably wondering what comes next. Well, as we said before, competitive Fortnite isn't going anywhere. Once Season 9 wraps up and we move into our next season, we'll be debuting the Fortnite Championship Series. This will give players a chance to compete against the best of the best, where every single result matters, with a leaderboard to track results over the course of the season. Follow your favorite players on their quest to become the first season champions with millions of dollars at stake. Now, this is just a taste of what's to come, as we also plan on stepping up our competitive efforts across the board. So, keep your eyes peeled for more news as you root on your favorite competitors in the back half of the matches. Golden Boy, Monster, back to you, gentlemen.
Well, that's awesome. I didn't even know that was coming. Oh, look at you. That was pretty dope. Fortnite Championship Series?
Can I just say, did you hear that? Every placement matters. Wait, is this something you guys have been wanting or something like that?
Oh, this is awesome stuff there. It's obviously not going to stop, and we're glad that that is the case. But focusing on what's at hand right now, Fortnite World Cup Finals here in New York City, and just a reset here. I'm Golden Boy along with Monster D-Face, and this has been quite the day. 3 games so far, did not disappoint. In Game 1, we ended up seeing a huge victory from Bugha, who managed to pull it away in glorious fashion. And then Skype in Game number 2, just outpositioning Dubs. But Dubs got his redemption and picked up a Game 3 win just now. He said with Jordan that he wanted to remain consistent. He's been playing the baller play. There's a lot of strategies that players can implement here in competitive Fortnite, Monster.
Yeah, you saw Dubs Game 1 try to get a little bit more aggressive, opting in to take that fight over by the Greasy Lake, and it did not pay off. So he took his lesson, took his little, spanking, I dare say, right there. He's like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to stay away from that guy. You got to respect him on that rotation. He switched it up, and now he's finding himself in endgame. And that is the kind of adaptability you have to have as a Fortnite professional.
Yeah, it's necessary. 4-time qualified solo player is Dubs. And what I mean by that, when he qualified the first time for this event right here, he queued up again. Each week the solos competition was available.
Did again.
And did it again. And then did it again, and then did it again. That's how good he was. Everyone doubted him. No one knew who this kid was. And then he shocks the world. That, my friend, is undisputed. But the next game is going to start up. Game 4 about to begin. New York City, come on, let me hear you. It's about to start. It's about to kick off. These players need your energy. The battle bus is getting loaded. And look at everyone in the stands. What about that Marshmello concert earlier today? Incredible stuff, that live performance from him. You love to see it, but this has been a wild day thus far.
Now the question is, can Bugha, Skype, and Dubs continue to hold their lead? We saw King fall out of the running last game, and it set him back.
That's right.
4 placements.
That's right. That's right. King is going to be someone we have to keep a keen eye on. Not a king eye, a keen eye on.
Keep a king eye on him, too, because
sure, why not?
A king out there.
He really is, man. You got, I think someone on the Fortnite competitive Reddit said, if you have that name and you take out a player like Tfue, you got to live up to it.
That's
right.
You
got to live up to it. But there's the standings once again to get you all up to speed. Bugha still holding on to his first place position. Skype and Dubs right behind him. Dubs behind Skype by 1 point only. And this is the spread of the island thus far. Paradise Palms, some players are going to start to land over there in just a little bit.
Dude, Frosty Flights, what is going on there? I see 7 arrows or so just outside of where Dubs is currently positioned. Dubs, our last match winner, in great fashion. You can see he's playing the crack shot house here, where tons of chests spawn.
I'm also noticing over at the block, I saw another player there. I did not expect that, another body by the block, but he ended up disengaging out of there. And Clarity G off screen, Legendian as well. They're going to be some of the first to fall in game 4.
Here's a nice little fun fact. 46 of 68 points were scored in the online opens through Dubs placement strictly. So he definitely knows how to get to endgame. We already know him as one of the most mechanically gifted players, especially with his duo partner Mega, who, by the way, they're both qualifying. One of the only teams that are full qualified.
And sitting right next to one another as well, as you saw when Dubs picked up the win. His first person to congratulate him, his teammate Mega. Now, Rux. There you go. That's what I want out of Rux. At the start, Arkrum. That is a big elimination. Shaking the head, shaking the head.
Feels bad, man.
Oh,
when friends collide, yeah. Ouch.
Yeah, that is a rough one. Then you got Nix and Niddle. Nix, a Brazilian player. He was clinical during the qualifiers. Always seeing him in the top 10 each and every week that he played. Everyone in the region, everyone in the Brazil region knows how good Nix is. There's one player right below him, and maybe Niddle is going to experience that for himself. Nix does have that life lead here. We'll have that shield advantage. Niddle a little weak on the HP side as well.
Listen, Nix is here to show why he's the first qualified solo and duo player from the Brazilian region. There's only a few players who have the title of being fully qualified or double qualified for the competition here. Nix is one of them.
He's hearing all that movement up above him. Niddle does have the high ground. He goes in for the challenge, and that's Nix doing it for the region, doing it for Brazil. More cowbell, please.
Nix versus Niddle. Nix comes out on top. He wiggles his finger at the camera and says, no, no, not today. Snobby Shores is his home here.
And the good news is he won't get eliminated right away after he does a little motion to the camera. I love you, buddy.
No instant karma for him.
No instant karma for him.
Taking a look at Moffin. One of our few players representing for the Asian region here.
Japan as well, 15 years of age. Got a lot of great players from Japan that have joined us in New York City this weekend.
Tons of young competitors. We saw a great performance from Sinnoh and O-King yesterday, but Letwyke and Twins, they've really been going at it here and in Paradise Palms.
The only players here, so the winner of this one's going to take it all. 7 builds for Letwyke currently. HP, Little Dire. Twins also going to be in a rough spot too, and won't get an opportunity to be able to pop that big potion there unless he goes for it. Okay, he's making it happen. He's going for the big potion pop, and he does get it. That's going to give him a slight advantage in this fight.
The difference was no hesitation here as Letwyke is going back in it, even with the health disadvantage here.
Oh, that shield's going to be gone out of that one, Monster. Let does go up above him, and no! Twins got caught looking, and that's Let, who will benefit with that Chug Jug.
I'll tell you this, so much confidence. Confidence is key when it comes down to these PvP battles. He just went all the way. He was committed, and he was, you know, hell-bent on getting the win there. But Ghost Issa, we haven't seen any Shifty Shafts action all weekend long. Good to see Ghost Issa here on the main stage, as he deserves as much love as anyone else. What's he gonna do? How's he gonna represent for himself and his fans?
It's a battle, cross-regional battle here between Moffin and Issa. Moffin from Japan, putting this region on the map, perhaps. Issa, well-known player in the space. He's been at this for quite a while. Off screen, you just saw King's name in the action feed against Teak. Another shot, actually. Issa getting third-partied, and sometimes when you're in these fights, you just don't expect when another player, they're gonna hear the gunfire, so they're gonna try and push the fight, maybe get an advantage out of it, and then it's Mega! Mega marches on in and gets the better of Issa. Now it's gonna have to deal with Moffin. Does not have that floor quite yet. Moffin's holding it down. Does he get the hack through? Moffin goes in for the fight, but that's gonna be another one. Number 2 for the Mega Man.
We wanted some Shifty Shafts action, and we got it right there. They are just, unfortunately, in the warpath of Mega. He lands right outside of this area. Good on him to rotate through here and catch him off guard. Here's a nice little replay from
That was Teak. That was
King
the
taking out Teak.
Yeah, the King elimination on Teak. Huge for him.
All right, Unknown Army. We touched up on him in his pass earlier today. At one point, he was actually somewhat shunned out of the competitive discourse for being too aggressive. Little did he know that was the perfect way to find himself here at the World Cup stage, because it was all about pushing players and getting eliminations.
Everyone has their opinion and strong opinions on within the competitive community.
I'll tell you this, he came right back as being everyone's, you know, favorite friend all of a sudden.
That's good, that's good. Obviously, it's, you know, this is a competitive game that is still continuing to evolve and grow. Players, you know, trying to learn one another's personalities and stuff. I understand we do have a replay, though, from one of the other eliminations that had happened earlier on. This is Pika. Look at this, Pika jumping forward, finds one in front. That's the third party, and this player now having to look at Pika, but that was nasty. Pika made him pay.
Pika ordered a quick two-piece chicken nugget, and Aqua was a part of it. That's so unfortunate. Aqua's really been struggling so far in the solo competition, but I'm sure it's a breeze for him now, being that he had such a huge day yesterday. But jumping in with Zayt here.
Right now, Aqua's playing with house money. That's what we like to say. A huge performance from Zayt yesterday, but unfortunately for him, not going to be the case in Game 4. Hood J, his first elimination is on to one of Fortnite's greats, Zayt. But the fight continues against Dracons.
It's an artillery strike right here, and Dracons is going to have to back up here. As Hood J is going to get a moment of peace because he's in the lowest level. He doesn't have to worry too much. Dracons trying to axe his way through the middle, and he's trying to loot right there. That's his loot, respectively, if he can snatch it really quickly, but no, he's more focused on this battle right now.
And
sets up a cone as well.
And Dracons, you know, from the Brazilian region, so there's just aggression. That's what they do. They'll go after the fights, and they want to get in your face. They don't care. They don't care what region you're from.
Absolutely loving the rhythm right now. He's really messing with the cadence of his axes, but he's going to get punished. And now he's the one who's on the defense right here as he backs up and takes the defensive stance to go ahead and heal.
Doesn't have any shields, no minis, unlike Hood J, who has 2 more remaining. As well as some bandages.
Allow him to bounce back. He's got all the mats now, Golden Boy.
Yeah, he's got everything to work with. Sometimes you gotta go and just farm up, pick up as much as you can, or maybe even disengage from a fight. It may not be worth it. It's okay to disengage. Play the safe game. There's no reason that you gotta get aggressive, get in their face. We understand that is what the region likes to do, but in this instance, hey, you're playing for the long game.
Yeah, and I talked with Macwood and Calculator in the Players Lounge for a while, and I asked him, what do you do if someone disengages? Do you respect a good disengagement? He says, depends, you know? If both of you guys are in a weird situation, they'll give it up.
There's no reason for you to go for a fight that you're just not comfortable with. Crew, though, he's looking for a fight right now. has this player playing a little defense, but he ends up getting tagged, and now it's going to be him on the back foot. Has to take a moment. Pop a mini.
That was a best case scenario for him because he still has a full whites here. He did not lose normal health points. It was just his shield that was ripped off there.
Two quality players right now scrambling against one another. Pika gets rid of the trees so that you can get above. You also get a little bit more resources out of this, perhaps. And it's right front. Oh man, played around the corner there. And then Pika, he just had that brief moment to move away. Saw him move ever so slightly down low. Just saw the tip of his head.
This is an intense battle. Pika versus Crew. Crew, a double qualified competitor here. Didn't play in the duos competition yesterday. And of the two, he's the one who just goes in. He's not the IGL. Let's see how he can handle himself here when just playing solos now. And he's in the zone. He's found himself in the zone.
Yeah, they're going to get ticked for one in the zone, and they're pretty far from it.
He doesn't want to play off that camera angle, but he's going to chuck a brilliant grenade right there. It's going to open up the box.
Now you're inside of the Storm Monster. What do? You're engaging in this fight. You're losing health little by little. What's the play now? Oh no!
Got the med kit, but he couldn't connect.
The play was just to go for it. Pika gets the better, but he's going to continue to tick for health. Does have a launch pad though. Can fly back. He's really far from the safe zone.
I just gotta say, that was Crew's game to win. He managed to turn it around and get that right camera dominant angle back, and he could have had it at that moment, but Pika's prime positioning put him over the ramp. He lost sight of him, and he let his guard down. He got punished for it.
And this is from Pika's perspective and how he got the better of Crew with the burst SMG. The weapon that I happen to favor quite a bit. I like it, although I do like to set myself up for failure sometimes, so I'll pick up the burst SMG. It won't really end that well for me, but for these players here, they know how to take advantage of each item in Fortnite. They're so good at really working with what's in front of them. Now the format, as we mentioned before, we're pretty far from it, okay? So when you get to 25th place, that's when the placement points start to tick, but each elimination is gonna give a crucial point. These have been some low point games. If you watch the online qualifiers wondering, man, we're seeing players getting 60, 70, 80 points, even 100 in some instances. Those are the online qualifiers, a different format. These are the best players in the world going against one another. The gameplay is going to slow down just a little. Bit as they all fight for the positioning.
Yeah, this is definitely that time in the game when everyone kind of positions up and the heavy congestion begins, but King doesn't care about that because he is arguably the worst zone to fight.
He's a savage. He's a savage. He does not want anyone else to sit up upon that throne. It should only be him, but it's okay. Sometimes you don't have ramp in front of him.
That was so brilliant. He changes his angle there. He says, you know, I'm not going to use this side. I'm going to go around and start collapsing in on you, just losing or pushing that player out in uncomfortable ways.
Oh, I like this. He's going down low.
Master at finding angles here. He's just looking for the best way to break apart his opponent right now, and he's really playing mind games. Now, suddenly, this guy doesn't know what side he's safe on. He's losing all forms of real estate right here.
You know, King, he just constantly wants to be in your face. He's done it in each game that has happened, and he always seems to just know where everyone is. Like that is a trait that you know, a lot of the players that are up here, they do have it, but in this South American region like this, where there have been obviously not a lot of players coming out of this for this particular tournament, I think King has put this region on the map without a doubt.
He is truly representing here. This King's tracking is phenomenal. He's still keeping track of Tuzi here. Now deciding he's going to replenish some materials, and refortify all of this area. Sanctioning to himself here. This is why he's in the running in the top 10 here. We saw him get taken out earlier before, but this is why he plays the high risk, high reward. If I'm being honest, that's how you take first place. You put it all out there and
go big or go home.
Everything goes in your favor, honestly.
Go big or go home. King fight. Tuzi's next to him, as well as Keemstar.
Doesn't stop into another box and push.
This is ridiculous. He does not care, people. King wants to jump into your box. It's in box now! Oh, what a beast! What a beast!
He's not here to play. Laser's gonna go down. King.
Bow down.
We thought Bugha was one of the best box fighters. Hold up, it's time to do some reviews here, because King is putting himself on the map here.
All I want, Bala, if you're listening, I just want you to do a VOD review of King, okay?
Get us a VOD review, please.
Hopefully we can just agree on that. Wild stuff, man. Gets the window, boom, right to the face. Right to the kisser.
He's already looking.
What's wild about that fight, too, is a lot of players would have just stayed stationary in that position. Storm was coming in.
They would have been content with being somewhere safe in the
He had a target, and he just went right for it.
Incredible. Here we have Dubs now, center zone. Still has a baller. Bucky still in the running here. Leshy also getting right next to Dubs, also has a baller, so they're probably not gonna get into too much of a battle, but who knows?
Maybe they'll be
Storm
baller
Surge
buddies,
is still a thing.
Maybe. But you're right, though, about the Storm Surge. You really are, because if you're not putting in damage, how many fights has he actually gotten into? Someone's gonna be above. There's Dubs. Minigun. That minigun goes right through your builds. Very powerful against structures.
Dubs, only with 2 eliminations, is actually the match leader, and that's because he's just pinging other players. Yes, just damage leader. And we just talked about Storm Surge. That's why you want to be proactive. You want to shoot at anything that moves. Because realistically, you don't know when you're going to find yourself in that precarious situation where you have to push someone like pretty much with, without wanting to.
And we were talking about, I think it was Zayt, we were discussing himself in a position, but still. Fishy against Storm. First elim for him there.
Club his head through the window edit, opens it up and hits him with the pump.
But as we were mentioning before, sometimes from a safe position, go for the shots. Go for the shots. Maybe you get a few takes. Damage perhaps, and King, he's taking fights outside as well.
King is still here to play Golden.
2 eliminations, 53 builds for him. Running with that blue combat shotgun. Great range on that item. It's far away, though, from where the half-in, half-out circle is going to be. We're at Zone 5. This is when things start to get a little crazy. What does King have as an option here? Is he looking for people on the move and then punishing them? Maybe trying to get the community launch pad, perhaps, if someone throws that down. What is he looking for here?
It really wouldn't even surprise me if he's just looking for elimination to recap on materials right now, because he doesn't have enough to full tunnel across here. Knowing his found a launch pad, so his game awareness, nice little replay right there, one of his first
board.
Paying attention to what's going on here. And Tifu make a big comeback for himself here.
Concerned about that player who had edited out, and Tifu did have the mark on him. You hate that one. When you just get about trying your best to stay up, not getting the elimination of
Prisionero was just snatched from him. Does not go his way here. He does have some shadow bombs though, so he's close enough to try and tarp in, but now he becomes the target of the server because he's only building in wood here.
People can take note of the structures being used. That will give you an indication as to where they are currently. Our players do build around 2-box metal perhaps. Metal, the strongest structure. In case you're wondering, maybe you're watching for the first time, wondering what's going on here. Your game 3 winner, Dubs. 2 eliminations, still has that baller, but it is a very weak baller. I mean, look at that thing, it is cracked up.
Not only that, he doesn't have health either. He is very, very weak here. He has tons of materials though. He just has to play for placement to continue to hold this lead that he has right now on the competition. King gets taken out by Mongraal, unfortunately, right there, and Bugha is still in the running here as he catches Quexy, and the kill feed is lighting up right now as players are dropping, and we're approaching placement points finally here.
We're getting very close to it, Monster. Once we hit 25th place, everyone's going to start to earn some points. Right at the side of your screen, 3 points for everyone still alive, but Dubs, and we mentioned it, that baller was in dire straits. It was not going to be able to survive another rotation, and neither was he with the HP that he had currently. Then the rotations, everyone's starting to move here. They have some shadow bombs. They're going to use those and get to the other side, get to the safe area, build around and protect themselves, and hope that they can continue to gain more placements as we take a look at the overhead.
That's right. He was holding his breath because he needed to get that top 25. He didn't break it through in time. Everyone left in the game has already gotten placement points here, but you want to play for the next threshold. You want to continue to stay in this game here, as that's exactly what Tifu's doing with the Shadow Bomb, hopping around the builds here, trying to keep a low profile. Bizzle still in the running. One of the innovators when it comes down to tarping and pushing out with effective and clean builds.
Just one of the greats of Fortnite altogether. On the side, I was looking at this fight between Ruxin and Riversand. Riversand went for high ground numerous times, and Tifu gets eliminated by Mongraal. And then Rux has high ground, as you see on your screen to the left. Then you have Bizzle, still very much in this one. Takamura with 4 eliminations and earning placement points as more players begin to fall. And we're coming down to the final moments, Monster.
That's right, we are. And we're gonna jump into Takamura's POV here because he has 4 eliminations. And he doesn't plan on stopping, neither does Mongraal, because Mongraal catches Benji Fishy as well. Taking a look here at Takamura, tarping out. He is going to fall down, and he's going to get shot a few times here. What he's going to do is he's going for the high ground. He sees an opportunity. It's his to take. Now jumping over with Mongraal's in the low ground. Drops another player right here. Is he going to be able to connect in full? Can he convert here? He does not.
So many players are landing in front of Mongraal here. Coming down to the wire, top 9 remaining. 1 in front of Mongraal. Does he get the elim? He manages to just get away by the skin of his teeth. And now Mongraal gets up to the high ground, maybe using this. If you keep jumping on the wall, you won't go out of the shadow state. He gets up top, but there's no one going to be there. There's a person all the way above him, knocks the structure down, and the player does manage to catch himself and maintain the high ground positioning here. We have some great players still left in this game, but Mongraal with 4 eliminations is looking for number 5, and that was on Nate. We're now down to the final moments. Top 5 Monster.
He had to fully commit there. Those are the mats that he needed. He's still in the game here. He's going to go all the way for it, and that's a trade out with the 109 to the face here.
Huge elimination on Takamura. We're into a 1v1v1v1. Top 4 players now. Mongraal in the ultimate low ground, going up against a player. It's going to be Bugha. The game 1 winner will not be enough against Mongraal, who does get picked quite a bit. He loses a lot of HP. No more builds, but the victory royale goes to the veteran Psalm, who manages to pick up a massive win.
Using the shockwaves in the final moments to snatch the high ground, Psalm claims a victory, but it's Mongraal who had a ton of eliminations and really was the ruining factor for so many of our top 10 competitors in that round right there.
Mongraal was running roughshod in the ultimate low ground, but it's Psalm, the vet, He has performed in so many competitions at a high level, and it's no surprise here when Psalm gets that high ground. He's so good at that. Mongraal had no builds left. He had no HP to work with. He did the job he needed to do. Top 2 bunch of eliminations, and Shockwave's late game again, Monster. Such a great piece of equipment that you can use.
Let's go. He's feeling just you only have so many opportunities to win a game here. Just to do that alone, it's magnificent.
Yeah, it really, magnificent is the best word that I could think of. At those final moments. Far ahead he is, 8 points currently, but Psalm now jump in 3rd. Riversand, who's managed to put together some great games. Epic Whale in 6th, Sky 7th and 8th, and King, who has been very aggressive, is place.
Doing so good. The Epic Whale shot himself up to that front page, guys. So don't count out Andretos here in the top 20 because the point threshold is everywhere, and that's life-changing prize. On the line here, the stakes are so high.
I wonder who's going to take it all.
And a huge game for us in the standings, feeling really high ground take. You said I didn't think that it was going to work, but real domination right there at the end. Such a stacked that were there are all capable of clutching this up.
After I got the high ground, I was just focused on playing safe, make sure I don't lose the high ground, make sure no one impulses up to take my high ground. And then, I let everyone on the ground do their thing, and then I clean up.
And the cleanup was real. Back to you, Golden Boy and Monster D-Face.
Always a pleasure to hear from Psalm, a veteran in competitive Fortnite and doing it once again. No shocker there. You take the risk, you make the bold play, and sometimes it pays off. And in that instance, it definitely did. He's coming out quite pretty from there. I believe was in 2nd place, currently in the standings. That was a nutty game, man.
He's been in top 10 this whole time. Since the competition has begun, he's been chipping away at placement. And that last one was a huge victory for him. And that is exactly what he wanted and needed here to keep him relevant.
Yeah, so many great moments in that game. And while we had the best seat in the house, there were some moments that maybe we didn't catch. And the good news is we got one of the best VOD reviewers in the game. Balla standing by to break it all down.
Thank you so much, GB. Yes, we have 2 games remaining. And it looks like Psalm and Bugha repeating that first game success early on. They're going to move forward at the top of the leaderboard. But for now, we're going to take a look at some of Rux's performances and some of his shots that pushed him up to 5th. So while we roll these clips, Rux in the end game. First, he set himself up brilliantly in the early game against Arcrum. We've talked about Arcrum a number of times. This duel has been going on every single game here. Rux takes the better of Arcrum and gets the loadout that he needs to push on forward here with the infantry rifle and the combat shotgun, and heals to boot. Only 1 mat remaining through this entire time. Doesn't quite get those mats after finding the elimination onto Core Gaming, so he's working through old structures here. Other player structures, and that's leavable flick shot with the combat shotgun. Retake, it's Stompy, Rux to climb, but for now we've got 2.
Thank you so much for breaking that down, Balla. Rux, who has been time and time again showing up in the top 10. We always see his name, whether solos or even on 10 weeks up until
King would be the man to show, like, honestly, the energy for far in his journey through this World Cup.
It's been a wild ride here, but that's going to do it for my pleasure to cast with you. Now we're going to...
To je bilo live-a. Sami znate će Bukva da pobedi, tako da to je to. Vidimo se sutra u 6.